Think about it, isn't it right? Didn't I spend 50 points outside the room when I entered the room for the first time? 50 points gain the qualification to enter the strange space, and then a small secret trial will be given as a gift. This is more profitable than robbing money. I haven't found out what the purpose of this small secret realm is yet. Why do you spend so many points here to do this? I have no experience and can't level up. Is it just to learn how to fight various monsters? Forget it, you will know it after you enroll in school. Let's get your own evolution information first. I paid 10 points to start the next round of challenges. After entering, Lin Hao was still the same as last time, with skeletons, undead cockroaches, ghost warriors, and zombie dogs dispatched. This time, I still killed all the monsters, leaving the boss to be killed last. This time, Lin Hao didn't take action against the boss. The ghost warriors rushed forward with a cry of "Bah!" and self-destructed, killing them on the spot. Although the defensive boss's offensive and defensive blood is much stronger than that of Jin Shining, 10 ghost warriors self-destructed at the same time and could only be killed instantly. The boss was blown to pieces this time, and the debris fell everywhere. The bloody magic circle that came out to collect the corpses became very large, just covering the entire boss's remains. Bloody lights lit up everywhere, and every piece of the remains was recovered. Is this Nephilim obelisk alive? Lin Hao doubted again. Pick up the light ball that fell on the ground and call up the plug-in dialog box. Gifts from Nephilim, you can choose rewards from them. Reward 1. Obtain an ancient legendary equipment. Reward 2. Absorb its energy and obtain information on the evolution of the power of death. No need to ask, forget it, you have nothing to argue with, you damn cheat. Choose reward 2. Lin Hao complained a little, the Nephilim obelisk is so smart, but you plugin is so rigid. Reward 2 has been selected, now being swallowed. Evolution cracking process 55%. Huh. The cracking progress has not increased by 20%, but has become 15%. What's going on? Please give me an explanation. Unfortunately, there was no response. Lin Hao sighed, there wasn't even an instruction manual, what should I do? 15%, just 15%, it's just 2 more shots. After leaving the small secret realm trial and returning to the room, the AI's voice sounded again. Congratulations on passing the level 20 small secret realm in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Kill all the monsters in the small secret area, and then solve the boss. It will take more than 4 minutes to complete the level. If I simply wanted to refresh the clearance time, would I be able to set a record within 2 minutes? It's better not to do this kind of thing. If there is any good reward, you can break the record immediately. However, apart from shocking and surprising the people outside, you will gain nothing, and the temple will not reward you even a dime. It is better to kill all the monsters and let the puppet Wang Siki collect more corpse essences to store. In case there are no corpses in the future, the essence can be used. The third time he entered the small secret realm, the servants and family members still attacked. Lin Hao walked behind this time and carefully appreciated the scenery in the small secret realm. 3 small secret realm trials, 3 completely different maps. The first time I came in, it was a Gobi terrain with only 1 or 2 roads to walk on, and the area was quite large. The map for the second time was a forest, with no roads to speak of, so I had to make my own way. This time the map is a swamp, and you can even sink if you step on it. The third time to clear the level is faster than the first time. There are no twists and turns in the swamp. The monsters are all hiding in the swamp. If you rush in and encounter one, a large number of them will appear behind it. The guarding boss fell in the swamp, and Lin Hao almost couldn't get through. He had to use the undead cockroaches and skeletons to build a bridge before he could get the light ball. Now swallowing. Evolution cracking process 70%. It's 70%. Just 2 more shots and it'll be okay. Looking at the progress bar, Lin Hao felt as if he was playing a game to achieve progress. It was very fast, it was only 20% yesterday. Go out, pay points, come in again. The map was changed to a mountainous area, but it didn't matter. It had no impact on Lin Hao at all. Anyway, it was just skeletons and undead cockroaches that were charging at him. Almost any terrain was no obstacle to them. The fourth time, the end time was still more than 4 minutes. It feels like no matter how you change the map, the number of monsters may be about the same, or the time will be roughly the same, they will be relatively close. Picked up the 4th light group, and the plug-in swallowed it again. Now swallowing. Evolution cracking process 80%. Huh? Why did it change to 10%? Does it start to decrease every 2 times? Lin Hao wanted to scold the plugin, but it was useless. This thing couldn't even respond to a punctuation mark. If this is the case, the next time it will be 90%, and the next time it will decrease to 5%, 5% will be 100%. In other words, 3 more times will be fine. In this case, let's not waste time and start working. Anyway, you are not doing it yourself, your subordinates are fighting, so you can just follow behind and watch. I paid another 10 points and opened the small secret realm again. This time the map was an abandoned city. Servants and family members swarmed past and searched every street. As long as the monster did not hide deliberately, it would definitely be killed and its corpse devoured. When he got the light group again, Lin Hao was going to be furious. Open black lens bracket devouring. Close black lens bracket, evolution cracking process 85%. Your paralysis only decreased after 2 times just now. Why did it start to decrease immediately this time? Are you cheating on me? However, 5% is still acceptable. Now it is 85%. I work hard and it will be fine soon. I feel calm and do not get angry. Pay 10 points again to open the small secret realm. This is already the 6th time, just 2 more times than expected. From the time I came in to now, less than half an hour has passed, so don't be in a hurry. My sister may not have started yet, but she has already completed more than half of it. The servants and relatives may have felt Lin Hao's mood. They killed very quickly this time, killing all the monsters in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. They also killed the boss in a swarm and ate all the corpses. The bloody magic circle that recovered the corpse didn't even bother to show up. Lin Hao let the plugin continue to devour the 6th light group. Devouring. Evolution cracking process 87.5%. I choked you, but you still surrender. Do you want to get a few tenths of a percent from me later? At this time, Lin Hao was really angry and slammed the hammer on the ground, but it did not make a small hole. As soon as he moved his hand, green light came immediately, forcing Lin Hao to calm down. It's okay. As long as I keep brushing, I will always be able to push the progress to 100%. After being forced to calm down, Lin Hao turned on the crazy dungeon grinding mode. You can be as bad as you are. As long as I keep grinding, I can always reach 100%. It's still early, so it's definitely okay to book a morning. Lin Hao, who was forced to calm down, did not think about anything and continued to pay points to start a new round of small secret realm trials. Next, the 7th time, the increase in progress is reduced to 1.25%. The 8th time, it was reduced to 0.625%. Lin Hao was so angry that he almost quit. Fortunately, forced calm appeared in time to keep Lin Hao calm. Or will there be a turn for the better after 90%? With this mentality, Lin Hao continued to start the small secret realm trial after calming down. Anyway, he still had 1880 points, so keep going. Fortunately, the 9th light group has not been halved, and the progress can be increased by 0.5%. For some reason, Lin Hao felt so lucky. Continuing to the 10th time, the light group only increased by 0.125%, which was exactly 90% of the total progress. Next, after reaching 90%, instability began to occur. Sometimes a light group increased by 0.2%, sometimes only 0.1%, but sometimes it failed and the progress did not increase at all. Lin Hao started from the 15th time, no matter what records were recorded or not, and no matter whether people outside would be shocked or not, since there were not many people around during the holidays, he started to grind like crazy. Once inside, summon the servants and dependents as quickly as possible, and then ride out on the evil spirit horse himself to speed up the clearance. Puppet Wang Siki no longer needs to collect corpse essences. Anyway, he has collected enough in the previous 15 times to allow himself to explode non-stop for 2 days. The 16th time set a new record, finishing in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But Lin Hao was not satisfied. He didn't know how many times he would have to brush it, he had to go faster. For the 17th time, the record was set again, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. After finishing the fight, I summarized for 3 seconds and changed my tactics. The skeletons should not all burrow into one place, which is a waste of combat power. They should spread out and kill in groups of 2 in different directions. The 18th time, the record is 2 minutes. I cleared the small secret realm 100 times again. Now I have 860 points left and the progress is 98%. After finishing the process for nearly 4 hours, Lin Hao felt very tired as he looked at the progress that was still 2% short of progress. Look at the time, it's almost 2 o'clock noon. Let's go out to eat something first, I'm hungry. After leaving the room and returning to the temple, I saw many people leaving one after another, as if something happened outside, rushing to watch the excitement. "Brother, what happened? Why are everyone running out in a hurry?" Lin Hao asked as he caught a handsome guy passing by. "Brother, you don't know? That golden goddess from the Magic City came to challenge our 7-Star Alliance. She came early in the morning to kick the student union of Tanlang Academy and beat the 2 vice presidents of Tanlang Academy into confusion. Now she has gone to Juman Academy. Go quickly. If you walk too slowly, you won't be able to get a seat, and you won't see a fight." After the handsome guy finished speaking, he ignored Lin Hao and ran out of the temple at a faster speed, fearing that he would fall behind and miss a good spot. "Oh," Lin Hao remembered that my sister was playing in the gym. Didn't it mean that the previous academies were just showing off, and the real fight was with the Po Military Academy? Last night, I heard from my elder sister that there were a few people in the Imperial City who could fight her indistinguishably, but those few were not from the 7-Star Alliance, so it was very easy to play today. In addition, Song Lufeng has already made arrangements, and it is basically all about acting. Lin Hao was still a little worried. There was no point in fighting with fists and kicks. More than 90% of people with superpowers used weapons to fight. It was easy to accidentally use real fire. Will my sister be besieged by the entire student union? After leaving the temple, we went to the 7-Star Alliance commercial street, where we randomly found a noodle shop, ordered a bowl of noodles, and then went to Juman Academy to see how my sister was doing. There was a man and a woman next door, who also ordered small noodles. While they were eating, they were discussing what to do in the morning. That golden goddess is so powerful. Greedy Wolf is known as the most powerful academy in the 7-Star Alliance. 2 vice presidents of the student union were beaten to the ground by her when we came together. I wish I were as powerful as her. The 2 vice presidents were freshmen last year and were promoted to sophomores in September this year. They just have some connections at home and are not very powerful. The really powerful ones are the president, the organization director, and the publicity director. It's a pity that these 3 everyone is out today, which is why she is so arrogant. The president will be a senior in September this year. Most of his energy now is on joining the military. He will not participate in this year's college league. He definitely doesn't want to touch the golden goddess. It's okay if he wins, but if he loses what? It will seriously affect the military's evaluation of him. The organization minister and the propaganda minister are about to resign. I heard that the 2 have formed a team and will start preparing for the Great Secret Realm next semester. They want to be on the ladder. Even if others can't make it to the all-time list, at worst they can still make it to the annual list. For us, just think about it and eat quickly. After eating, we have to go meet the captain. This mission may take more than 10 days. I can't eat the noodles here anymore. The 2 looked like lovers and were dressed in combat uniforms. After eating the noodles, they picked up their weapons and left on foot. Lin Hao heard it clearly and was completely relieved now. The 3 strongest people from Tanlang Academy are not here, so I am fighting 2 people who are in the same class as Gao Shangba and Peng Junhui. They are probably also at level 40 and have not yet advanced. Isn't this just for show? It just depends on whose acting skills are not good and the flaws are exposed. Think about your 2%. There are 860 points left. In the last 10 small secret realms, the failure rate of the light group has reached 80%. The 2 successful times have increased the progress by 0.1%. If this continues, I'm afraid I won't have enough points. I think I have 30,000 points. When you don't have enough, ask me to borrow some. After eating the noodles, Lin Hao went back to the temple. The kind old man with white hair and white beard guarding the door saw Lin Hao coming back and asked, "Young man, aren't you going to watch other people compete in martial arts? What's so good about it? Others are so awesome. The more you look at them, the more you feel inferior. Why not come to the secret realm and practice more? If you go to the battlefield in the future, you still have a chance to survive." Lin Hao made an excuse casually, thinking that when he just came out, he didn't see any old man guarding the door. Aren't the entrances and exits of each local branch hall controlled by AI? The force weapon defense system that fills the hall is not just for display, so where is the need for a gatekeeper? The uncle smiled and said, "It's rare to have such a clear-minded idea like you. No matter how powerful others are, it's only because of their abilities. But occasionally you should go and watch those masters compete. The same force fighting skills will be used differently by different people. The effect is that watching other people's battles can also help inspire your own understanding of force fighting techniques." Lin Hao said, "I think you have to practice until you can't improve yourself first, and then you can refer to other people's practices. I haven't practiced to a high level yet, but I can't understand other people's high-level battles when I see them, so what else can I do? Inspiration?" The uncle said, So that's what you think. You're right. I'm not even at that level, so I may not be able to understand it. Lin Hao said. Even at the same level, different people will have different understandings. Just like reading a book. If 1,000 people read the same book, there will be 1,000 different understandings. What you think is reasonable, he thinks it is not reasonable. So, unless I want to understand the opponent's situation, I don't think it's necessary to join in all the excitement. After saying that, Lin Hao swiped his card, chose an inner room and entered. A figure slowly appeared behind the uncle and asked, "High Priest, what are your orders?" Modify the record data and block all the record-breaking results of today's level 20 secret realm. Only cardinals and above are eligible to view them. Usually only past records are displayed. Yes, High Priest. The figure took a step back and disappeared into the wall. After Lin Hao entered, he spent a long time and hit 56 times in a row. The clearance time is getting shorter and shorter every time. The fastest time is only 1 minute and 32 seconds. However, adding up to 56, it is not enough for all processes, and it is now stuck at 99.99%. The last 16 light groups have all failed. Lin Hao scolded him many times. Did your damn cheat change his name to Pin Shishi? Lin Hao had the urge to beat someone, but he didn't know who to beat. Next time, you will definitely succeed next time. Lin Hao has always had this idea since the 101st time. Every time he thought that he would succeed next time, he was completely obsessed. This is the biggest illusion in life. As long as you work hard enough, you will definitely succeed next time. An old man outside is very puzzled. What do you want to do by clearing the level 20 secret realm so many times? Do you have many skills to practice? Your points balance is insufficient and you cannot start the small secret realm trial. The gentle but ruthless voice of the AI sounded, reminding Lin Hao that the points had been exhausted. Bang! Lin Hao punched the wall. Too much, really too much. After dozens of times, all failed, and the process was still stuck at 99.99%. All 2,000 points were spent and I lost my temper completely. Sure enough, when you think you can do it, don't believe it. Lin Hao came out of the temple dejectedly. The man guarding the door greeted him. He didn't even raise his head, he just said, softly and walked over. You have obviously set new records constantly. Even if you are practicing skills, you should have practiced several of them. Why are you so frustrated? Didn't you meet your own requirements? If today's young people had his tenacity, we would have been able to kill any dimensional channel on a large scale. Alas. The uncle looked at Lin Hao's back and sighed. Master High Priest, my subordinates suspect that he is testing some forbidden technique. Otherwise, how could he complete a level 20 secret realm by himself in 1 minute and 32 seconds? What's more, he is only level 20 and has not yet advanced. A figure appeared from the wall and stood behind the uncle. If every time we meet someone who can be made, we doubt him and question him just because others can't do it, then what hope do we humans have? Just like that girl from the Li family before, if Xiaoshui had not gone there in time, I am afraid she would have been poisoned. The uncle was very dissatisfied with what the person behind him said, but there was nothing he could do about it. After more than 400 years of hard work, mankind has long since emerged from the predicament of almost being exterminated. Now everything is developing in a good direction, with land and oceans being continuously recovered. Today's human beings have long forgotten the fear of being dominated by the old ones more than 400 years ago. Those aristocratic families, and even large groups and guilds, began to be content with the status quo, and internal power struggles began to emerge, so that the recovery of old European lands has not progressed. If this continues, sooner or later a lord-level monster will be born in Europe, and then the border guard war will have to start again. At that time, I don't know how many young people will have to sacrifice. Lord High Priest. The uncle returned from his thoughts to reality. Sir, the meeting is about to begin. It is a secret meeting held by Lord Ice King regarding the raid on EOD's northern stronghold. According to the schedule, it is your clone who will attend the meeting. Oh, have you found the northern stronghold? Or radicals like Xiaoshui have a way? Let's go to the meeting. It's time to beat this catfish EOD. The uncle stood up, glanced at Lin Hao, then turned and left, his figure slowly disappearing as if blending into the environment. The subordinate also looked back at Lin Hao, then turned around and left with the uncle. Lin Hao walked out of the temple and saw his elder sister leaning on the suspended motorcycle. It seemed that Lin Yarong had finished her work long ago and had been waiting for a long time. Lin Hao was sitting in the back seat, and the two siblings found a hot pot restaurant to eat hot pot and chat about their respective situations today. The first is Lin Yarong. The first 3 games were just a formality, basically normal exchanges and guidance for juniors and newcomers. The last game went to Pojun Academy, which was really hands-on. The 2 vice presidents who were competing with Song Lufeng had no intention of fighting, but Lin Yarong rushed forward, pulled him down and beat him up. One broke several ribs, and the other broke his left leg and right hand. When Pojun Academy lost all face, Song Lufeng stepped forward and fought Lin Yarong for 100 rounds, and then lost again. Lin Yarong left a sentence as agreed earlier, "Not bad, it has improved compared to last year, and it is worth looking forward to." Song Lufeng's reputation soared instantly. Open the student forum of the 7-Star Alliance and the student website of the Pojun Academy. They are all praising Song Lufeng, and then the 2 vice presidents were trampled into the ground. Although 90% of those who flatter and discredit others are the Navy troops invited by Song Lufeng. Sister, according to what you said, wouldn't Song Lufeng be firmly seated as the next student president of the Po Military Academy? Is it worth the heavy investment he has made? Lin Hao didn't understand how much money Song Lufeng spent just for the position of student council president. Was it worth it? Lin Yarong said, "It's definitely worth it. What he spent seems to be of high value, but he can't use it himself. Once he takes the position of president of the student union, he can get what he wants and more." Lin Hao didn't think carefully about the benefits, but it would definitely not be simple, otherwise Song Lufeng would sit on it without breaking his head. Sister, since there are so many benefits to being the president of the student union, have you ever thought about grabbing a student union president in your own school? Lin Hao was a little curious. There should be no one better than my sister at the Third War College in the Magic City. Why didn't my sister take that seat? I don't need your sister. I am a close disciple of the dean. I have much more resources than the average person. I have the support of the dean's former comrades behind me. In the college, the student council president is just my younger brother. Lin Yarong was not exaggerating. Her salary in the Third War College was very high, but her situation was a special case, and it was difficult to find similar situations in the entire alliance. I'm done here, brother. How are you doing over there? Lin Yarong asked. Alas, Lin Hao let out a long sigh, not knowing what to say to his elder sister. All 2,000 points are spent, and there is still 0.01% left, and I really don't know how to explain the cheating thing. Seeing her brother sighing, Lin Yarong asked directly, "Is it not going well?" Lin Hao nodded. "You spent all your points, but you didn't achieve your goal?" Lin Hao nodded again. "After eating, I'll take you to do some farming. Although I don't know what you want to do, I think it might be better to form a team and do it together." Lin Yarong didn't ask for the specific reason, thinking it must be related to her brother's awakened power of death. It's the same whether you ask or not. After the 2 siblings finished eating the hot pot, they went to the temple again. It is now past 8 o'clock in the evening. Although the temple is guarded by AI smart guards and is open 24 hours a day, it is during the summer vacation, and only a few people are still here at this time. Lin Yarong paid 50 points, opened the team room, and teamed up with Lin Hao to play together. When a team opens a small secret realm trial, it is not based on the average level. Whether there are 2 or 5 people in your team, the one with the highest level will open the small secret realm of the same level. Therefore, what is now open is the level 53 small secret realm trial. This time when he went in, Lin Hao did not summon his servants and dependents. He just summoned the evil warhorse and followed Lin Yarong. Golden thunder and lightning exploded all over Lin Yarong's body, making her hair half golden and half black. A long sword flew like thunder on the ground. The speed was so fast and the momentum was so strong that it was almost unbelievable. This was the first time for Lin Hao to watch his sister spawn monsters. He didn't use many skills throughout the whole process. He only used them when strengthening the elite monsters Smurf and Golden Shining. The ordinary monsters were almost average. This is not an ordinary flat A, but a super electromagnetic draw sword, one of the force-fighting martial arts. You attach your own superpower to the weapon, and then use the weapon to carry the power of the superpower, using the smallest movement to deal maximum damage, S attack. Effortless, durable, and flexible, it truly deserves the title of the most scientific combat technique. In just 3 minutes and 52 seconds, Lin Yarong had cleared a large area of monsters, and the progress bar was almost full. Lin Hao observed carefully. When the old lady went out to kill the first monster, she had to aim at the vital points to kill in one hit. But as more monsters fell, the sister's level of damage became higher and higher. Obviously she didn't use the dragon tooth sword, but when she met the Smurf later, she cut the strengthened monster into pieces with one sword without aiming at its vital points. That level of ease is even easier than killing ordinary monsters at the beginning. In 4 minutes, the gatekeeper boss appeared. It refreshed behind Lin Hao. As soon as it appeared, it raised its huge claws to attack Lin Hao. Thunder technique. Crazy Thunderblade. Lin Yarong's eyes flashed red, and the sword in her hand condensed a large amount of golden lightning. She fired a golden lightning from a long distance, slashing the lightning like a knife along the way. Before the boss's raised giant claw fell, his body was already split into pieces. It fell in half and fell slowly. Lin Hao didn't even move, instinctively trusting his elder sister. After the boss fell, a bloody magic circle appeared and swallowed the corpse, leaving 2 things behind. Similarly, it is a light group that only Lin Hao can see, and its brightness is much higher than that of the level 20 small secret realm. The other thing is something like an ancient key, glowing with a faint purple light. Lin Hao took away the light group, and Lin Yarong took away the key. Before the elder sister could ask if she was okay, Lin Hao immediately thought to himself, and the plugin hurriedly came out. The status bar that only Lin Hao could see appeared in front of him. He pinched the ball of light, devouring, evolution cracking process 100%. The crack is completed to obtain the evolution information of the power of death. Please check the host. Lin Hao quickly clicked it and saw 2 lines of words appearing on the screen. You seem to hear a whisper from afar, calling your name. The reincarnation of all things will continue. But you are no longer among them. Then, Lin Hao really heard a voice in his ear, like a distant darkness whispering. He has no idea what language he is speaking, but he can understand its meaning. Engrave the Condor's runes on the soul of the prophet and devour it, and a stronger power of death will burst out. Runes of Condor's? Why does it feel so familiar? I seem to have heard this name somewhere. Also, what the hell is the soul of the prophet? Is there really a prophet in this world? Brother, how are you? Are you done? Lin Yarong asked after putting the key into the storage halo. Well, it's done. It's just that some of the information has no clue at all, Lin Hao said. What's the message? After Lin Yarong put away the key, the small secret place was being cleared, and then they both returned to the room. The voice of the AI telling the time was completely ignored by the 2 of them. Sister, are there any prophets in our world? Lin Hao asked this because he felt that in order to obtain the soul of the prophet, he had to know who the prophet was. What's more, if the prophet were a big shot like the high priest of the temple, then he would never be able to advance to the next level in his life. Prophet? There are, and there are many. Lin Yarong thought her brother wanted to ask something, but it turned out to be this. Huh? There are many prophets? Those who can be called prophets should be awesome people. Are there many such people? Lin Hao didn't understand. Prophet is the name of the orc shamans. They can use the power of the earth and sky. Some advanced ones also have the ability to predict the future, so they are called prophets. Lin Yarong explained. What? Orcs? For the Horde? The middle school here has not taught anything related to orcs. Lin Hao's knowledge of orcs here relies entirely on the internet. However, Lin Hao has no interest in this area before and hardly reads information related to orcs. In his knowledge, the orcs here it's a beast with upright legs, just one of the many monsters in this world. It's the orcs. There is a continent called North America on the opposite side of the Pacific. The old ruler Zavilpagawa opened a dimensional passage in the Grand Canyon. The orcs came from that dimensional rift. The entire North America was completely slaughtered by orcs, and it is now a paradise for orcs. There are countless tribes living in North America together with various monsters. These are contents that can only be learned in universities, and they will specialize in teaching this knowledge, Lin Yarong said. Is it difficult to catch a prophet? Lin Hao believed that since the information given was the soul of a prophet, it must be relatively common, so this prophet must be the orc shaman. There is no reason why promotion to level 20 would be hellish. Catch the prophet? Do you need it? You must catch it, can't you buy it? Lin Yarong asked. Can I still buy the prophet? Lin Hao asked. Although the number of orcs is large, each tribe operates on its own, and there will even be wars between tribes. Many guilds and group companies here organize people to cross the ocean to catch the orcs over there. The spinal cord of the orc warriors, the brains of the prophets, the heart of a female orc, these are high-grade materials and very valuable. North America is a chaotic place. Humans are hunting orcs, and orcs are hunting humans. There are even humans who cooperate with orcs, and they are catching humans and orcs. Although Lin Yarong has never been to North America to hunt orcs, she has heard from the dean. Lin Hao said, Sister, I don't need any brains. I just want a living prophet, even half dead, and then I can extract its soul. If there is a place where I can visit up close, I can take the opportunity to extract the soul. No need to buy it at all. Lin Yarong thought for a while and said, "Tomorrow I will take you to visit Wenk Academy. There are profits there for experiments." Lin Hao nodded fiercely. This is possible. Save money if you can. A profit is very expensive. This is the common thought of the two siblings. Lin Hao suddenly had an idea. Since it was rare for my sister to clear the small secret realm with him, should he do it a few more times? Those light groups can directly produce ancient legendary equipment. In a small secret realm of level 53, the light group can definitely produce more than level 50 ancient legendary equipment. After thinking about it, I forgot about it. After a while, the ancient legendary equipment appeared like a magic trick, and I couldn't even explain how it came about. Lin Hao had never dared to tell his sister about the cheat, just because he was afraid that if he did, she would get to the bottom of it and finally ask about his time travel. At that time, the old lady will still recognize that she is her younger brother. Forget it, there will be more opportunities in the future. Now the first thing is to get promoted. After returning to the hotel, Lin Yarong called Song Lufeng and asked him to make arrangements to see if he could go to Wenk Academy to visit the Orc Prophets experiments. Wenk College, as one of the 4 major liberal arts colleges, is the most famous in the 7-Star Alliance. They have made great achievements in the research of orcs. They can extract various essences of orcs, and then combine them with other drugs and minerals to make various potions, which can be called the best supplies in wartime. For example, Hero Potion increases strength by 70 points and temporarily increases health by 70% for 1,800 seconds. There are also special magic resistance potions, dark, light, natural elements, arcane, etc., which greatly increase elemental resistance for 1,800 seconds. There is also the Destruction Potion, which is most popular among mages with superpowers. Spell Explosion is increased by 2%, spell damage is increased by 120%, and lasts for 1,800 seconds. These are one of the patented products of Wenk Academy. Of course, the other 3 major liberal arts universities are also researching medicines in this area, and they even cooperate with many group companies on research, and each has its own flagship product. It was not difficult for Song Lufeng to just visit and communicate. The 7-Star Alliance often had this habit of visiting each other, so he agreed immediately. When Lin Yarong called Song Lufeng, Lin Hao was trying to remember where he had seen or heard of the Candora's rune. These words are really too familiar. I must have heard them in recent times, but I just can't remember where I heard them. After Lin Yarong hung up the phone, she said to Lin Hao, "No problem." Song Lufeng said that after we meet at the entrance of Wenk College at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, he will take us in. Lin Hao was still thinking about where he had seen the Candora's rune, so he just responded to what Lin Yarong said and didn't hear clearly what Lin Yarong said. Lin Yarong picked up the pillow on the sofa and threw it on Lin Hao's head. "What are you thinking about? You are so absorbed." Lin Hao was hit by the pillow and returned to reality from his thoughts. He picked up the pillow and threw it back to his sister, and then said, "I was thinking about where I heard the Candora's rune, but I just didn't remember it. Where have you heard of it?" Lin Yarong said, "Look at your memory, I'll get you some spicy pig brain supplements later. Your employer, the one who asked you to fight Styx dolls, is on the list he gave you." Ward. Thinking about it, when I saw that name, I felt a little strangely familiar. I just didn't know why, and the other party didn't know what the rune was for. Later, when the old lady sent me the necessary equipment, I gave it to him. Forget about it. Lin Hao suddenly felt as if he had missed hundreds of millions. If I had known, I would have brought that thing over at that time. Now I can only go back and contact you to see if I can buy it with money. No matter what, now there is information on the 2 items needed for evolution, which is gratifying. Next, you just need to slowly find a way to get these 2 things. As for how to engrave the runes in the end, I will wait until I have both items in hand. I must know a few rune masters. Now, Lin Hao suddenly felt that everything was clear. At the moment when Lin Hao was thinking wildly, Lin Yarong had already placed an order for 3 spicy pig brains, which would be delivered in about 20 minutes. Pig brains are rich in nutrients and are very effective in replenishing blood, enhancing memory and improving immunity. The shape complements the shape, and you will have to eat them all in a while. Lin Yarong flashed the order information. Hungry Lala will deliver it within 20 minutes. Lin Hao was speechless. Maybe he should make up for it. He could forget such important information. He also said that he felt inexplicably familiar with that name at the time. At this time, Lin Hao remembered the question he had been wanting to ask in the little secret realm. While waiting for the takeaway, he asked his elder sister, "Sister, in the little secret realm just now, I found that you were hitting harder and harder, and the damage was the farther back, the higher it gets. What's going on?" Lin Yarong said, "This is one of my two skills. It is a skill that can be combined and matched. It is the first skill that is in demand." "What skill is so powerful?" "Rage and belief in power." Lin Yarong showed the information of these two skills to Lin Hao. Her own skill information was generally not known to outsiders. But Lin Hao was not an outsider, so Lin Yarong showed it to him easily. "This is the second person besides your mentor who knows information about your skills." Lin Hao naturally knew this, so he had only told Lin Yarong about his major skills before. Seeing the information about these two skills on the optical brain screen, Lin Hao had to say, "No wonder others said that my sister is amazing." Rage. After destroying or assisting in the destruction of an enemy, the strength is increased by 1%, which lasts until the battle ends and calms down. This effect can be stacked up to 25 times. Strength Faith. Every time you cause damage to the enemy, there is a 20% chance of gaining 2 points of strength, which will last until the end of the battle to restore calm. This effect can be stacked up to 100 layers. Lin Yarong explained to Lin Hao, "These two skills are one of my supporting skills. I have successfully acquired them at level 45. With these two skills, I can allocate a large number of attribute points to agility, and finally meet the requirements for learning the skill of combat avoidance." Lin Yarong also showed Lin Hao the two skills of combat avoidance and the accompanying skills of boosting military morale. Combat avoidance. Ability to maintain a safe distance from enemy attacks during combat. In a battle of the same level, as long as you don't want the enemy to get close, you can always avoid a close black lens bracket. Invigorate military morale. Double the effect of your passive skills, and at the same time, all companions within 100 yards can recover 3% of the upper limit of health per second. Lin Hao was very shocked. This combination of skills is really a masterpiece. According to Lin Yarong, this is the skill that the dean's tutor gave her to design matching. Even the dean's teachers and fellow students also participated in the discussion of matching design. This is why you must go to college, otherwise without anyone's guidance, you won't know how to match your skills to become more powerful. However, Lin Hao was not envious. "Because my situation is different, no matter how I use the scroll, I only learn death skills. There is no matching or mismatching, just put it together and you will see where it shines." Early the next morning, the siblings had breakfast and arrived at the entrance of Wenk Academy at 10 o'clock on time. Song Lufeng and Shui Yan'er were already waiting. "Miss Lin, Brother Lin, this way, this way." Song Lufeng's tone was completely different from before. Lin Yarong nodded and said, "You guys came quite early. How are you doing? Are things going well for you?" Song Lufeng said, "It went very well. Miss Lin, the power of your thunder made the two competitors lie in the hospital for a night before they were expelled. Now the direction of the wind has completely shifted to my side. Are you sure that you can successfully take the position of student council president? If I'm afraid of their counterattack, I'll beat them up later." Lin Yarong accepted the heavy gifts from others and had to get things done. That legendary gemstone, the lightning crown, might be a more beautiful gemstone to others, but in Lin Yarong's hands, it is a divine weapon. Song Lufeng said, No, it's enough. If you attack them again, it will be too deliberate. If I can't sit in that position in this situation, I can only say that I deserve to be unlucky." Lin Yarong said, "Don't say that, I am very optimistic about you, you can bend and stretch." Shui Yan'er interrupted the politeness between the two and said, "You two, come in quickly. I made an impromptu appointment with someone last night, and she promised to take us to visit the Orc Prophet. Don't let us wait too long." Song Lufeng quickly made a gesture of invitation. The group entered Wenk Academy and showed the student union badge of Pojun Academy. There was no obstruction at all. Then they got on the school's floating sightseeing bus and went directly to the experimental area. Wenk Academy is very large. The teaching area and experimental area are connected together. It covers an area of several thousand hectares. It is the largest in the Seven-Star Alliance. The suspended sightseeing car walked for more than 10 minutes before arriving at the breeding center in the experimental area. It's said to be a breeding center, but it's actually a place where monsters are imprisoned. All the monsters here have been stripped of their ability to move and are fed every day for experimental use. This way, Yan'er, park here. A senior sister from Wenk Academy was already waiting for Lin Hao and his party at the door. Xiangyun, I've kept you waiting for a long time. Shui Yan'er greeted her immediately after getting off the car. The two held hands and were very close. Lu Xiangyun, a junior student at Wink College, an assistant professor, and Shui Yanner have been best friends since childhood. It's not like you haven't seen it before. Why do you want to see the orc prophet again for no reason? Lu Xiangyun said to Shui Yanner while swiping his ID card to open the door. It's not me who wants to see it, it's this goddess and her handsome brother who want to visit. The two siblings have never seen what the orc prophet looks like. Shui Yanner pointed at the people getting off the car behind her. Lu Xiangyun asked, "What goddess? Who dares to call you a goddess in front of you? Don't you know that our Yanner is a famous beauty in the Seven-Star Alliance?" Shui Yanner said, "Good sister, please stop talking nonsense. Let me introduce to you, this is Lin Yarong, the famous golden goddess of the Third War College in the Demon City, and the handsome guy next to her is her brother Lin Hao. As for this, no introduction is needed, you already know Lu Feng." When Lu Xiangyun heard this, he quickly put on his glasses and looked at the three people behind Shui Yanner. He suddenly became energetic. "What, is this the golden goddess Lin Yarong?" And as he spoke, he extended his hand for a handshake. Lin Yarong was used to it. Many girls in the college admired her somewhat. She was ready to reach out and shake hands. "Well, that's right, it's me." However, what Lu Xiangyun reached out to hold was not Lin Yarong's hand, but Lin Hao's hand, holding it with both hands, very enthusiastically. "Hello, brother, how old are you this year? You don't have a girlfriend yet, right? You don't mind if your girlfriend's superpower is only F level, right?" Shui Yanner looked embarrassed, remembering that Lu Xiangyun broke up again a few days ago, and it was now the time to change her boyfriend. Lin Yarong's face was gloomy at the side, and the gold on her palms was already shining slightly. "Do you think I'm not here?" Because Lu Xiangyun was too close, the pair of peaks were about to hit Lin Hao. Moreover, he was wearing a suspender belt, and the ravine was extremely deep, which aroused people's imagination. Lin Hao, who almost blushed, saw a green light covering his head. He suddenly thought what was so interesting about these mountains. "My sister's promotion is much better than yours, but I didn't even look at it. What's so good about yours?" "You're too close," Lin Hao said expressionlessly, leaving Lu Xiangyun standing there, eyes wide open in disbelief. Lin Yarong was very satisfied when she heard what Lin Hao said. Shui Yanner hurriedly came over to separate the two people and said, "Brother Lin Hao was admitted to a liberal arts college this year, and senior Lin Yarong happened to be communicating with our Seven-Star Alliance again, so I brought him here to see what an orc is." When Lu Xiangyun heard this, he realized that he was studying liberal arts just like himself. "That's fine. At first, I thought my little brother was dissatisfied with the low level of his powers. Generally, those who take liberal arts exams are either ordinary people or have extremely low power levels, or their powers are not suitable for combat at all. In this case, everyone must have something in common. Or maybe he is interested in Shui Yanner and is embarrassed to be so close to him? It should be so. Otherwise, why did you ask Shui Yanner to help you see the orcs?" Lu Xiangyun immediately let go, then went to the side and put on his white coat. Since they were both junior students in liberal arts, there would be many opportunities in the future. How could those who practiced martial arts have something in common with those who studied liberal arts? "Here, let's go see what an orc is." Lu Xiangyun led the way, taking everyone into the area where the orcs were imprisoned, and acted as a guide to explain the characteristics of these orcs. During the explanation, he stood next to Lin Hao and helped Lin Hao answer his questions. The orcs in North America are not exactly the orcs that Lin Hao knows. There are extremely many types. There are trolls, dwarfs, and various animal characteristics, such as centaurs, harpies, minotaurs, snake men, etc., too numerous to count. Don't imagine that female orcs are beautiful. Female orcs are also ferocious monsters. At least Lu Xiangyun has never heard of the existence of beast-eared girls. Only those clan orcs were similar to the orcs Lin Hao knew. They established real tribes. Many scholars even believed that the clan orcs had given birth to civilization. Shaman is a profession that only clan orcs have. Each tribe has many, and it can even be regarded as a combat magic weapon profession. The high shaman priest is that kind of existence with a high status. It can be said that the orcs are full of treasures, such as the scorpion man. The carapace on his body can be used as soft armor to resist heat and corrosion. The venom on his tail is an extremely precious medicinal material. The huge pincers are one of the materials for weapons. Some highly venomous snake-like orcs, their bile and toxins are hundreds of times more expensive than gold per gram. Since 400 years ago, the old rulers of Ilpagawa somehow escaped into the cracks of another dimension, the orcs in North America lost control and multiplied crazily, and the entire North America became the world of orcs. In particular, the clan of orcs has developed rapidly and occupies half of North America. However, clan orcs are not all made of iron. Various clans operate independently, some are ruled by chiefs, and some are ruled by shamans. There are currently more than 150 known clans, and it is estimated that the number of orcs in all clans reaches hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions of orcs. Lin Hao suddenly had an idea. If a shaman prophet was turned into a puppet and let it learn the voodoo dance with the ghost baby shaman, could he summon undead orcs? Various cages contained half-dead orcs. In Lu Xiangyun's eyes, they were just experimental subjects. Arriving at the cage containing the orc prophet, Lin Hao felt something was wrong. Why was this cage so much bigger than the one in front? The Tauren cage in front is only 3 meters high. Why is the orc prophet's cage at least 5 meters high? Also covered with cloth. Lu Xiangyun pressed the button next to the cage, and the cloth slowly rose. Brother Lin Hao, you came to the right place to visit the orc prophet in our Wenk Academy. Orcs are strong, aggressive, muscular, and simple-minded monsters. But they like to live in groups and gather together to form small fighting groups according to their favorite fighting styles. This group may be found in any race. And then a few such fighting groups gather under the command of the strongest boss to form a tribe, which is the largest social unit of the orcs. In general orc tribes, the boss is called the warlord. They will continue to grow and develop, not on the way to conquer other tribes. Just being conquered by other tribes. The clan orcs are outside this category. Even though the tribe is constantly changing, splitting, and reorganizing, for the clan orcs, the affiliation is stable and lasting. The clan orcs don't have the same meaning as a warband. So simple, but a philosophical interpretation of the orc character. Each clan has its own totems and fighting styles. Clan orcs maintain similar physical characteristics through genetic phenomena. These characteristics make them different from other orc tribes and they can quickly identify themselves. This is very advantageous in tribal wars. Clan orcs will be born through selection. A powerful leader leads the clan to expand its territory. If this leader is a warrior, he will be called a chief, and if he is a mage, he will be called a shaman high priest. Now, what you see in front of you is not an ordinary orc, but the shaman high priest of the Dark Moon clan. High priest? Could it be that a tribe was wiped out and the high priest was captured? After listening to Lu Xiangyun's introduction, Lin Hao was looking forward to seeing what the shaman priest looked like. The piece of cloth slowly rose to the highest level, and in the cage, the orc prophet's full appearance was revealed. Its hands and feet had been chopped off, huge barbs pinched its ribs, hanging it in the air, and its eyes had been blinded. Behind it was an advanced machine, with needles and tubes inserted into its skull and spine, slowly extracting its brain and spinal cord. Lin Hao could feel that this guy was still alive. He must have been injected with some kind of drug to keep him in this completely sedated state, making him look motionless and dead. If its legs were still there, it would probably stand at least 4 to 5 meters tall. Lin Hao probably estimated, are all clan orcs this tall? Or is this shaman high priest a bit more special? This is the shaman priest that your Wenk Academy spent a lot of money to buy a few years ago? It seems to have caused a big sensation in the academic world at that time. I hadn't enrolled yet at that time, so I don't know much about it, but the academy attaches great importance to this orc prophet. I don't know what my chances are of winning against it. Don't be ridiculous, this orc prophet is level 70. The three women, Lin Yarong, Shui Yanner, and Lu Xiangyun, started chatting with no sign of stopping. Lin Hao looked at the orc prophet in a trance, feeling as if a voice was calling him. These years of enduring humiliation and suffering have kept me on the verge of collapse. I finally waited for your arrival, the great death. An extremely small voice, in an unknown language, sounded in Lin Hao's ears. Lin Hao quickly glanced at the elder sister and the others. They didn't seem to hear the voice and were still chatting. Lin Yarong was asking Lu Xiangyun some questions about the orcs of the clan, saying that she might set foot in North America in the future. When Lin Hao didn't look at the orc prophet, the small voice in his ears disappeared. Turning back and looking at the orc prophet, the voice echoed again. Although he didn't know what language it was, Lin Hao felt that he could fully understand the meaning. This is somewhat similar to the whisper in the darkness when I got the information last time. I wonder if it is the same language. I am willing to sacrifice my soul and beg for death. I am willing to be a slave forever, just for a chance of revenge. Lin Hao heard it clearly. However, Lu Xiangyun, Shui Yanner, and Song Lufeng were here, and there were so many cameras above their heads, so there was nothing he could do. The shaman priest in front of me is the best puppet material. After the previously ordered puppets are upgraded, they can make 2 more puppets. However, puppet making requires a corpse, and the high shaman is not dead yet. So, kill it now, do it now? I'm afraid that I and my sister won't be able to leave Wenk Academy. Just when Lin Hao was thinking about going to the toilet, releasing the puppet Wang Siki, and then sending the evil spirit over to kill the shaman chief priest, he would come back and use soul erosion to extract the soul. I don't know if soul eclipse will count it as an evil spirit or a prophet's soul after it extracts it. When Lin Hao was hesitant to go to the toilet, a dialogue box popped up. If a prophet is found to have the ability to foresee, should he extract his prophet's soul now? Can plugins extract souls? If I had told you earlier, I would be hesitant to go to the toilet? Lin Hao didn't hesitate anymore and just clicked yes. The plugin popped up a blank dialogue box and stretched out a huge black tentacle towards the orc prophet. These black tentacles are only visible to Lin Hao, and no one else, including the AI camera, can see or capture them. I saw black tentacles inserted into the body of the orc prophet, stirred twice, and directly pulled out the soul of the orc prophet, and then returned to the blank dialogue box. There were absolutely no traces left on the orc prophet's body. At this time, a will-o'-the-wisp shaped pattern appeared on the dialogue box, with "Soul of the Prophet" written underneath. Is that all? Looking up at the orc prophet, there was no change in his appearance. He still looked like he was dead. No one could see anything wrong with him. But Lin Hao could feel that the last remaining vitality of the orc prophet was quickly dissipating, and the corpse essence would be formed soon. Buzz! Suddenly, a piercing siren sounded, like a sharp knife cutting hard by the ear, making people feel dizzy. What's going on? Lin Yarong asked. She was worried that her brother had triggered something when he sucked the soul of the orc prophet. Lu Xiangyun quickly went to the side of the system operation interface to check, and then started operating. The huge machine behind the orc prophet stretched out a needle, inserted it into the heart of the orc prophet, and injected some kind of medicine. After a while, the alarm stopped and returned to normal. It's okay. This orc prophet's health is dying. He often appears on the verge of death. He needs to be injected with strengthening medicine to maintain his life. Lu Xiangyun actually felt it was strange. Generally, AI would automatically inject medicine without manual operation. But today, an alarm was issued, thinking that the experimental subject was dead, so no medicine was injected. Maybe the AI made a misjudgment, but luckily I was there and operated it manually. After injecting the medicine, the instrument showed that the basic life symptoms of the orc prophet were maintained. This matter cannot be known to outsiders. Otherwise, if word spreads, the AI of Wenk Academy will make misjudgments, which will be embarrassing. Lin Hao excused himself by saying that the sirens were too harsh and made his ears uncomfortable, so he wanted to go back and rest. Lin Yarong immediately said, "My brother is not feeling well, so we will go back first. This time I saw Wenk Academy's research results on orcs. It was a worthwhile trip. I look forward to the next exchange." Song Lufeng also said, "If the alarm sounds, there must be something wrong. There are so many orcs detained here, so we should check it carefully, and we will go back first." Lu Xiangyun said, "Well, that's it for this visit, I'll take you out." When sending everyone to the door, Lu Xiangyun secretly thrust a small note into Lin Hao's hand while Lin Yarong was walking in front and boarding the floating sightseeing car. Lin Hao wanted to refuse, but it would not be good if he kept making people unable to step down in front of him. It's better to collect it first and then talk about it. After leaving the gate of Wenk Academy and saying goodbye to Song Lufeng and Shui Yanner, the siblings found a place to have lunch. "How was it? Was it successful?" Lin Yarong asked. "Successful. However, I may have to do it again tonight secretly," Lin Hao said. "What's wrong? Is there any problem?" Lin Yarong didn't understand. Since she had already drawn the soul of the prophet, why should she go there again? Lin Hao explained. "I don't know why, but I heard the orc prophet talking. It was willing to sell its soul to me, as long as I could give it a chance for revenge." Lin Yarong frowned. The orc prophet wants revenge? It was caught by humans. The capture of a shaman priest can only mean that its tribe has been wiped out. Doesn't its revenge mean to take revenge on humans? I don't know, but I feel it's more than that. The orc prophet seems to know that I will come, and he has been holding his breath without dying, just waiting for me to appear. In the words of the orc prophet, Lin Hao clearly felt the resentment of being betrayed, abandoned, and something like sworn hatred. How could humans betray it? This is a relationship of hunting each other. So, there must be a reason. Lin Yarong thought for a while and said, "Brother, Do you know that the orc prophet is level 70? Although it is half dead, the level is there. You're only level 20, can you turn it into a puppet? Even if it becomes a puppet, it's a puppet, can you control it? No problem. Those who are turned into puppets by the power of death can only be my servants forever. I only need a thought to make them disappear. Lin Hao is actually not sure about this. The skill is described in this way, but it does not say what will happen if the gap between levels is too large. But the orc prophet himself said that if he is willing to be a slave forever, it shouldn't be a big problem. Seeing that her brother was so insistent, Lin Yarong couldn't persuade her, so she could only say, "We have to think about it in the long run. It would be too hasty to go there tonight. It's just in a hurry, so that no one will suspect us, although the chance of suspicion on us is very small." Lin Hao had already planned what to do on the way back. "Let's go, sister will take you to disguise yourself and get ready." Lin Yarong also had a plan. After lunch, the siblings went to the mall together. Night, 11:30 for a super big city like the imperial capital, 11:30 p.m. is the time when nightlife is rich. In the noisy bar streets and commercial streets, people are venting their stress and enjoying the nightlife. Those places where people work and study are quiet at night. No one knows that thousands of undead cockroaches are moving forward in the huge underground sewers. The sewers of the imperial capital are very wide and bright, and even cars can pass through them. The size is basically comparable to that of a large tunnel. For more than 200 years, the imperial capital has never been flooded. The immortal cockroaches swarmed towards the direction of Wink Academy. Whenever they encountered a manhole cover, they would pop up to see if they had seen it. If not, they would cover the manhole cover and continue walking forward. At this time, at Wink Academy, because it was during the holiday, there were almost no people to be seen. The guard at the gate went into the room inside early to sleep, and all matters were left to the AI. An immortal cockroach emerged from the manhole cover, glanced at the door of Wink Academy, and then shared its vision with its mother and owner. After determining the target, 10 ghost babies crawled out of the manhole, their dark skin color blending perfectly into the night. The 10 ghost babies did not run to the gate. There were AI cameras there. They ran towards the walls on both sides of the school gate. Each one was tens of meters apart. They were already in a position where there was no light. The immortal cockroaches continued to move forward and were already lurking in the sewers inside Wink Academy. After everything was ready, Lin Hao ordered the attack to begin. The 10 ghost babies screamed, "Ya!" hit the high wall and fence, and then blew themselves up. Bang bang bang, there were 10 loud noises. The guards were awakened by the explosion. They quickly went out to take a look. They saw that the walls on both sides of the main entrance had been blown to pieces. All the walls hundreds of meters long had fallen down. The alarm sounded, woo woo woo. The sound resounded throughout the entire Wink Academy. What's going on? A guard hadn't fully woken up yet and wanted to ask why the wall fell down. What's going on? There's someone attacking. Another guard reacted and immediately pressed the AI's illuminated attack confirmation button. The students and tutors who remained in the college immediately mobilized, and the AI also entered a defensive state. At the same time as the explosion, all the undead cockroaches swarmed out of the sewer, crawling everywhere and disrupting the line of sight. The AI's defense system chased the undead cockroaches and caused chaos. The ghost warriors kept resurrecting, and kept moving to other places to self-destruct, making the students and tutors tired of running around, but they saw nothing. The eye of Wink Academy can only monitor what is inside the wall, not what is outside the wall. Can't even take a picture. The teachers and students chased the place where the explosion occurred. Only the bombed walls and buildings were in front of them, and there was not a single enemy. Lin Hao appeared last, emerging from the sewer. Not far away was the breeding area. At this time, the entire college's students, instructors, and AI guards were all attracted to other places. At this time, Lin Hao used the transformation function of the built-in equipment bar all over his body. The face is wearing the same mask as the dress mask man, and the body is covered with a hooded black robe, with black smoke at the corners. What he held in his hand was a magic book that shone with a faint red light. It was transformed into an incinerator, and its appearance was based on a highly realistic toy that I just touched in the mall today. He was dressed like a dark wizard, from head to toe, not even his hair was exposed. Using the props given by Lin Yarong to prevent various external rays from scanning the bones, even the AI could only capture a moving black cloud of human-shaped smoke. Behind him was Wang Siki, a puppet dressed in the same style. Arriving at the door this morning, Lin Hao opened the magic book and whispered, "Soul erosion." Having been released by the puppet Wang Siki a long time ago, The evil spirit hidden in the magic book of illusions rushed out, screaming and rushing towards the door, but without causing any harm, it went straight through. This is just a cover-up method, because the AI camera can capture evil spirits. At the moment when the evil spirit entered the door, the corpse essence flying out from the puppet Wang Siki had already arrived at the door. Evil explosion. Bang, 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 bang. 5 explosions in a row, the door was blown to pieces and debris flew everywhere. Lu Xiangyun said today that the orcs inside have been demobilized and there is no worry about escaping, so the gate is just an ordinary gate, not a special one. The evil blast can easily shatter it. Lin Hao took 2 servants and walked straight inside. There are a large number of AI automatic defense systems in the breeding area. When he came this morning, Lin Hao had noticed and consulted Lu Xiangyun. Many schools purchased these AI automatic defense systems from several companies. They all have one characteristic. The attack methods are all physical attacks. There are no elemental or trait bonuses. Lin Hao let the evil spirit, which was completely unafraid of any physics, rush in first. The eye defense system discovered the evil spirit and immediately launched an attack, thus exposing the location of the weapon. Lin Hao, who was following evil spirit, immediately used evil explosion to blast the AI defense system from a distance. As we walked all the way, there were explosions like fireworks. Those orcs who were not in a state of absolute calm roared and cheered when they saw this scene. They didn't care whether others were coming to save them, they just wanted to roar anyway. More importantly, he hopes that the person who comes will kill him. Here, you can neither live nor die. The puppet King Siki once again released hundreds of undead cockroaches, crawled into the cage and bit the orcs to death, and then ate all the corpses. It's not that Lin Hao has any sympathy for these orcs, he simply wants his undead cockroaches to gain the power of these orcs by eating their corpses and grow a stronger carapace. Anyway, Lin Hao had a hunch that the power gained from the undead cockroaches eating the corpses would definitely be released after he advanced to the next level, and then his strength would further improve. No one wants their soldiers to be strong. Arriving in front of the orc prophet's cage, an evil explosion exploded the cage, and then 2 more evil explosions exploded the huge barb hanging the orc prophet's head and the instrument that sucked out the brain and bone marrow. The huge remains of the orc prophet hit the ground heavily, raising dust. You have sold your soul to me, stand up for me, become my servant and fight for me forever. The puppet was ordered to activate, and the dark red alarm light in the breeding area became even dimmer, as if affected by some powerful force. The surrounding darkness, all the black places, seemed to have something surging, and then it was pulled by the remains of the orc prophet, and was sucked in, like a large number of black shadows being absorbed. The remains of the orc prophet were wrapped in darkness, forming a huge black sphere just like Wang Siki before. I don't know if the body was seriously mutilated, but the black sphere stretched out its tentacles and pulled out the corpses of all the nearby orcs. Many orcs were locked in cages, but the tentacles were extremely powerful. When they pulled other orcs out, they directly smashed the cages and the orc corpses were bruised and bloody. But the black sphere didn't matter, it felt a bit cold and careless. As long as it was a corpse, even if there was only 1 leg or 1 arm left, all the corpses of the nearby orcs were torn away by the tentacles. This made the undead cockroach that was eating the corpse very dissatisfied and wanted to snatch the food back. But with just 1 sweep of the tentacles, all the undead cockroaches were swept away. Then remove the body. After devouring a large number of corpses, it took only a moment for the black sphere to fall to the ground, then quickly shrink, and finally turned into a huge orc more than 5 meters tall. The eyes are also dark red, and the skin color of the whole body is no longer the dark green in life, but a darker gray. 2 huge fangs sprouted from the lower jaw. They were not seen before when they were hung in the cage, they were probably broken off before. The naked upper body revealed explosive muscles, and the lower body was wearing the same tattered pants from when he was hung in the cage. Where the limbs were severed, there were cracks similar to Wang Siki's, like runes or suture lines, glowing with a slightly strange blue light. The orc prophet came to Lin Hao and knelt down on 1 knee, as if accepting the Lord's review. Lin Hao opened the skill bar and found the information about the orc prophet under the command puppet. Puppet number 2 level 70. Due to insufficient host strength, the puppet will begin to decline after half an hour, and will decline to level 20 within 1 hour. Ontology skill. Dark Moon Totem. Faith has changed, summons a dark red moon shadow to block the light. All undead units under the moon shadow increase the attack speed by 80%, the movement speed by 60%, the attack speed by 50%, and receive dark healing every time. recovers 5% of the maximum life limit in seconds. Servant skill. Sacrifice yourself, restore 100% of the master's health, and reconstruct at the target location. While the puppet restructures, the tendrils will deal 600% of the host's weapon damage as physical damage to nearby enemies. Special awakening. Unavenged revenge. Summons the Dark Moon clan orcs who have fallen into hell to return to the living world to fight. Even gods cannot stop the Dark Moon clan's desire for revenge. Strength. 800 agility, 180 intelligence, 1980. Physical fitness. Movement speed, 480, plus 96. Note: when attacking, 600% of the damage of the host's weapon is added. After being killed, the soul can be consumed to reconstruct the body. The master is immortal and will live forever. This is a level 70 attribute, and there are dozens of magic skills below. Bloodthirsty, cruelty, killing intent, and ignorance of pain are 4 active auras attached to friendly units. They are blood-sucking. The less blood the enemy has, the higher the attack, deepening damage, reducing damage, and being immune to control-type restrictive effects, such as mental control, mind control. Trample, earthquake, landslide, etc. These are the skills of the power of the earth. Storm, chain lightning, flames, water shield, etc. These are elemental skills. There are also Weena, battle fury, battle cry, etc. These are war buff skills, both negative and positive. Lin Hao was completely stunned when he saw it. He was worthy of being a shaman high priest. This attribute and skill were awesome. The current attributes and skills are still bare-handed without equipment bonuses. As the high priest of a clan, he must have exclusive weapons unique to the clan, and the bonuses are definitely not weak. Lu Xiangyun introduced this morning that the Dark Moon clan was once an extremely powerful tribe, occupying the Black Soil region of North America. How did such a powerful shaman chief priest, leading a clan and tribe, get caught, had his hands and feet cut off, his eyes blinded, and his muscles and marrow ripped out? Unfortunately, these attributes and skills are only available at level 70 and will begin to disappear after half an hour. But, with the level 70 orc prophet clearing the way, the previous retreat plan can be changed, and we can waste 30 minutes. Wang Siki, summon all the undead cockroaches back. The ghost warriors no longer need to self-destruct and disturb the line of sight, and stay in the sewers after resurrection. It's time for the Dark Moon orcs to take the stage. The Puppet King Siki immediately gave the order, and a large number of undead cockroaches outside quickly turned around, avoided the AI's attack, and swarmed towards the breeding area where the mother body was located. The ghost warriors no longer crazily resurrect and self-destruct. The AI issued a serious alarm, and students and instructors at Wink College received news that a large number of Zerg were rushing towards the breeding area. Quick, let's go to the breeding area. A senior instructor wore mecha equipment like Iron Man, holding a lightsaber in one hand and a light shield in the other. There were 16 floating laser cannons behind him. He jumped up, started the engine behind him, and flew towards the breeding area. Other instructors and students immediately started their engines to follow. The remaining 6 colleges of the 7-Star Alliance had already sent a large number of tutors and students on campus to provide support when Wink College issued an attack alert. Hundreds of 7-Star Alliance instructors and students all gathered at the breeding area of Wink College. Starting from the first alarm, the other 6 colleges in the 7-Star Alliance also received the alarm. Shang Wink Academy confirmed that it was under attack and immediately dispatched combat forces to help. Not long after they were dispatched, they received a message from Wink Academy's AI, and everyone went to the breeding area to gather. In less than 15 minutes, almost all the combat forces of the 7-Star Alliance had gathered at the gate of the breeding area of Wink College. Lao Yu, how's it going? As soon as Lao Ji Yu, the senior instructor of Tanlang Academy, arrived, he immediately found Iron Man from Wink Academy and asked what was going on. It's very pessimistic. The eye defense system in the breeding area has been paralyzed, the camera equipment has been destroyed, and all the bugs have got in. I released several small drones for exploration, but they were destroyed by elemental skills just after I reached the door. There is no way to know what's going on inside. Lao Yu was very cautious and just sent a drone to investigate the situation, and then asked the tutors and students of Wink College to isolate and surround the breeding area, waiting for support from other colleges. Now that we've arrived, we can just go in. Lao Chen, the senior instructor of Juman Academy, has a voice like a bell. Muscles all over his body are exploding, veins are bulging, and he is fully ready for battle. Lao Yu looked around and realized that he could indeed get in. It would be useless to wait any longer. Teacher, There's something going on inside. The student closest to him used his optical brain to scan the inside, and suddenly found a large number of figures moving inside. When Lao Yu heard this, he quickly scanned it with his optical brain. In the breeding area, the insects can no longer be seen. It is filled with tall figures, each at least 2 meters tall. These figures, like those bugs, have no body temperature, no signs of life, and emit weak special electromagnetic radiation. The number is increasing. The first scan of the optical brain showed 200. A few seconds later, the second scan showed 400. After a few seconds, the number of scans increased to 600. The energy index of each one was level 60 or even higher. It's not good. Ask the government for help. Send a notice immediately to block Wink Academy. A large number of monsters are attacking. Lao Yu gave the order in a voice that was almost a roar. Some students immediately reacted and notified the switchboard to ask for help from the government. Wink College was attacked by a large number of monsters. Comrades, we must block these monsters here before government support arrives. If any one of them escapes, it will cause a lot of casualties. All 7-Star Alliance students listen to the order and use the Force Energy Shield to block this place. All students retreat. The Magician's Barrier class immediately casts a double barrier to isolate the entire breeding area and the entire Wenk Academy. All instructors and students took action immediately. First, they used the Force Energy Shield to completely seal the breeding area. Then, the students in the Magician's Enchantment class launched a group enchantment with the instructors, and set up a powerful blocking enchantment on the Force Energy Shield, Double Blockade. Then, all the tutors and students stood behind the double blockade, and behind them was a simplified version of the super powerful barrier, the Star Wall. There are 3 layers of defense. If the double blockade on the first layer cannot withstand it and is broken, the instructors will lead all the students to fight against the monsters and try to delay as much time as possible. If both the tutor and the student are killed in the battle, the last layer of the simplified version of the Star Wall may be able to withstand the arrival of support. All arrangements were made very quickly. In less than 2 minutes, the previous double blockade had been completed. The teachers and students of the Conjurer's Barrier class hurried to the outermost edge to prepare to work together to perform a simplified version of the Star Wall. At this time, a burst of red light lit up in the breeding area. This was a flame shock. The red fire shot up into the sky and hit the Force Energy Shield. The flames collided with the energy shield, and the high temperature generated caused the surrounding air to twist and burn, and the falling sparks could burn the cement boards on the ground to make a zzz sound. The energy of the Force Energy Shield is consumed very quickly, but it can still withstand it. It seems that the enemies inside are not very strong. You only need to continuously replenish the energy shield with Force Energy to trap them all inside. Then when government support arrives, everyone will die. No, grab them all and study them. Just when the teachers and students breathed a sigh of relief and thought they could withstand it, the outermost Star Wall planned to stop and not arrange any more arrangements. Suddenly, the ground began to shake, and the earth began to tremble, and then became more and more violent. The Force Energy Shield was under the dual attack of flames and earthquakes, and a crisp sound of click appeared, and everyone's hearts were shaken. Quick, replenish the Force Energy. Lao Yu asked the students to quickly add more, but it was of no avail. The energy shield was shattered by the double attack and the instrument also cracked. Next is the powerful blocking barrier. The flames and earthquakes are not enough to break through the blocking barrier. Before it stopped for a second, a bolt of lightning that flashed like daylight rushed out from inside and hit the barrier. Although it did not break through the barrier, the lightning seemed to be alive and kept attacking the barrier back and forth. At the same point, ripples appeared on the barrier. At this time, the earth began to shake again, and there were hills protruding under the barrier, with hot magma spurting out from the middle. Then it evolved into a miniature volcano, and then exploded. With the power of the volcanic eruption and the attack of the lightning chain, the barrier could no longer hold up and was about to be broken. Border team, quickly set up the Star Wall. Lao Yu and Lao Jiyu already felt something was wrong. Everyone, take up arms and prepare to fight. Defend the dignity of the 7-Star Alliance. The full set of Lao Chen's hands has started to glow red, the power of his whole body has exploded, his defensive skills have been used, and various buffs are being superimposed. The barrier team worked hard to arrange the Star Wall, but it was still a little short of forming. Bang! There was a loud noise, and the powerful barrier at the front was broken. Everyone thought that the monster would rush out immediately, but then, except for the floating gray layer, the flowing magma, and the rolling smoke, everything became very quiet. Some students couldn't help but took a few steps forward, Wanting to see what was going on inside, the optical brain was affected by earthquakes and microvolcanic eruptions and could no longer scan the inside. Suddenly, a big gray hand stretched out from the thick smoke, grabbed the student's head, and then threw him far away and fell to the ground, where he fainted. Immediately afterwards, the ground began to tremble, which was the shock caused by a large number of monsters running. There were faint sounds of war drums, and all the teachers and students felt frightened. Gurrah! For the horde! With deafening roars and unintelligible slogans, a large number of clan orcs rushed out of the breeding area. The whole body of these clan orcs is gray, and their skin color is different from that of all known clan orcs. Their faces are like skin and bones, ferocious but lifeless. Their bodies are very strong, wearing simple and tattered leather armor, or holding sharp axes. Some holding spears, javelins, or holding broadswords, rushing out like crazy. Form up as a small team, no single orc can be allowed to rush out. Lao Chen took the lead, clenched his fists and jumped up, blasting into the orcs like a cannonball. The teachers and students of the Seven-Star Alliance and the orcs quickly entered into a fierce battle. In the square in front of the gate of the breeding area, roars and skill impacts came one after another, forming a heroic symphony. The orcs wildly charged into the formation of the superpowers wielding battle axes, spears, and broadswords, and every collision was as violent as a violent storm. Their skin is rough and hard, and seems to be able to withstand all attacks. This makes the orcs fearless, with only killing and destruction in their eyes. The teachers and students faced these orcs they had never seen before without retreating at all. Although they were affected by the sound of war drums, they still gritted their teeth and withstood the attack of the orcs. 5-man team tactics: the tank is at the front, raise the shield and use defensive skills to block the orcs desperately. The long-range output of mages, gunners, archers, etc. was throwing skills crazily from behind. The blazing flames shot at the orcs, burning their bodies black, and the huge water pillars rushed the orcs to pieces. There were also rare the telepathic superpower controlled the flying knives and sharp swords to attack the orcs. Another melee warrior in the team is walking between the DPS and the tank. As long as an orc crosses the tank and wants to attack the DPS, he will kick the orc away immediately to ensure the output environment of DP and AP. The wet nurse is at the back of the team, using her blood-increasing healing skills desperately. As long as there is a delay of half a moment, the tank at the front may bleed into a river and die tragically on the spot. There were at least more than 100 such 5-person combat teams, lined up in a row, and they could bear the entire impact of the orcs. All of them are buying time for the barrier team behind them. As long as the star wall is built, all the orcs will be trapped here. Lao Yu was wearing a force kinetic energy armor and flying in the air. He used force gatling in his left hand and force particle cannon in his right hand, shooting wildly at the orcs. The 16 floating lasers behind him were flying rapidly in the air. Every attack it can directly penetrate the orc's body. Lao Jiyu rushed to the front on the left with a long spear, striking the tiger with great power. The orc warrior was hit and fell down repeatedly, and then with a beautiful sweep, there was a half-moon of cold light, and several orc heads flew up. Lao Chen was at the front on the right, charging very fiercely. As a boxer, he was extremely brave, punching to the flesh, and beating the orcs completely unable to get close. His left hand was a rock, and his right hand was a flame, both offensive and defensive. The orcs could hardly do anything to him. He saw an orc rushing to hug Lao Chen, but Lao Chen punched him through the heart and he fell down on the spot. The 3 most powerful instructors on the scene fought an almost one-sided battle against the orcs, greatly reducing the pressure on the teachers and students behind them. After all, none of the students were level 60, and quite a few were not even level 50. Faced with the charge of level 60 orcs, a lot of people were injured. If the nanny was just 1 second late in replenishing blood, someone might be killed on the spot. Hold on. This is the last wave of impact. Lao Yu from the sky saw that the number of orcs rushing out of the breeding area had decreased, and there were no more orcs coming in from behind. Everyone was very excited when they heard Lao Yu's shout. They gritted their teeth and persisted. Victory was right in front of them. Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen also showed some relief on their faces. Raise your shields, stand side by side, and withstand the final impact of the orcs. All the tanks are juxtaposed together, forming a large arc, pushing the orcs in front. The DPS behind are throwing away skills desperately. As long as they kill all these orcs, they will win. As the last wave of orcs were killed, the war came to an end. Everyone sat down one by one tiredly. The battle, which lasted only about 10 minutes, seemed to be stretched by the magic of time into a long picture, and every second was full of tension and excitement. Only then did Lao Yu, Lao Jiyu, and Lao Chen breathe a sigh of relief. However, this is just a temporary relief, and then comes the final finishing work for the three of them. With so many orcs appearing, someone must have used teleportation to teleport the orcs from as far away as North America. In other words, the mastermind behind the scenes is still in the breeding area. Since he won't come out, let's go in. He must not be allowed to open a second teleportation and teleport a large number of orcs over again. The three of them looked at each other and communicated. If possible, they must capture them alive and interrogate them clearly about their purpose. Because there are so many questions, just when the three strongest instructors on site were about to enter the breeding area, a tall figure walked out of the breeding area. Naked upper body, tattered shorts, the same dark complexion as the orcs in front of him, more than 5 meters tall, and a pair of dark red eyes, he was particularly scary in the dark. How is this possible? The moment Lao Yu saw the orc prophet, he was stunned on the spot. What's going on, Lao Yu? What's impossible? Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen asked quickly. This orc prophet is the shaman chief priest of the Dark Moon clan that our Wink Academy purchased at a high price back then. Although the skin color has changed, the tall figure and the distinctive face are definitely the high priest shaman of the Dark Moon clan. Even if Lao Yu admits his mistake, his AI system will not admit it. The AI has already listed the comparisons and model comparisons, confirming that the person in front of it is the Dark Moon clan shaman high priest. Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen also knew about this orc prophet and were very shocked. What's going on? When I bought it, weren't its arms and legs cut off and its eyes blinded? Why is it intact now? I don't know. I connected to the AI of the Academy. Why did it turn into this picture without it? All the cameras inside have been destroyed. Before the destruction, only a few pictures were taken. There is a ghost inside, a man and a woman. It looks a bit like a dark monster. The feeling of a wizard. Lao Yu pulled up the screen and showed it to Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen. He had full permission to do so. Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen immediately concluded that it must be these two dark magicians who restored the orc prophet. The man and woman must still be inside, let's go in and catch them. Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen immediately wanted to bypass the orc prophet and rush in to arrest the people. In their eyes, although the orc prophets were tall, they were not flexible. Most of the shaman priests could not match the speed and reaction of close combat warriors. The two of them flew out with a bang, like bullets. When they tried to pass by the orc prophet with their high-speed movement skills, the orc prophet opened his mouth and let out a roar. The sound waves formed pushed Lao Jiyu and Lao Chen back. Then, a black pillar slowly rose from in front of the orc prophet. This was the totem pillar. The pillar was covered with lines that emitted a strange blue and white light. All the light did not shine around, but upward. At the top of the pillar, a red-black moon rose in the light, and then a very dark shadow spread out from the bottom of the pillar, covering the entire square, including the breeding area. In the black shadow, the thousands of orcs who died in battle stood up one by one. The severed limbs and arms and even the severed heads in the black shadow were all swallowed up by the black shadow and disappeared, while those with severed arms, legs, and heads were all swallowed up and disappeared. The orcs grew back their arms, legs, and heads. Each of their heads looked like skeletons wrapped in skin, with strange and terrifying red dots shining in their hollow eyes. Grrrah! Almost at the same time, Imperial Capital Bar Street. Tonight is the weekend, and it's bound to be a firestorm. Evening Show is the most popular nightclub in Bar Street. Even if it is just on the platform, you have to make a reservation 1 or 2 days in advance to get a seat. Because Lin Yarong said she wanted to experience the nightlife of the Imperial Capital, Song Lufeng naturally acted like a landlord and bought a platform reservation from a scalper for tonight at a price that was 10 times the low price. Naturally, the two siblings did not refuse Song Lufeng's kindness. They were accompanied by Shui Yanner and Lu Xiangyun, who insisted on following them. However, it was Lin Hao who notified Lu Xiangyun and asked her if she would come. As a result, Lu Xiangyun was the first to arrive at the nightclub. The platform is very small, with only enough space to place 24 beers at a time. There is no room to sit at all, so everyone is standing. But all the platforms are around the big stage in the middle, which is very suitable for young men and women who like to dance. The crowds at Evening Show are surging, and a feast full of energy and passion is being staged here. The DJ stood in front of the console, skillfully controlling the music equipment with his hands, and keeping his eyes fixed on the waveforms on the screen to ensure that the music's exciting rhythm and atmosphere were always maintained at their best. The shocking music rhythm, colorful lights flashing crazily on the dance floor, a dreamy and warm atmosphere. People swing to the rhythm of the music, fast or slow, light or wild. A large number of sexy dancers danced quickly under the lights, like a group of colorful butterflies dancing in the night sky. The men and women on the dance floor had excited smiles on their faces, cheering and screaming from time to time, enjoying the pleasure brought by music and dance. The entire nightclub is filled with the smell of alcohol and perfume. This is the smell of carnival and nightlife. Everyone is here to release stress, find themselves, and enjoy this night of their own. Why hasn't Shui Yanner come back for so long? Lu Xiangyun leaned against Lin Hao, who had just returned from the toilet, holding a drink in his hand, and leaned against Lin Hao desperately. There were too many people in the restroom. I went to the men's restroom and had to queue for more than 30 minutes. The women's restroom was even scarier. I saw some girls couldn't help but peed outside the door. Lin Hao shook his head. There were too many people here tonight. It was so crowded that some people might have been squeezed into pregnancy. I can't help it, it's the weekend. I'm smarter and wear a diaper. It's a large size. There's a cute panda printed on the middle of the back. It's a little hungry and wants to eat bamboo. Lu Xiangyun is a master of love. The shelf life of her boyfriend never exceeds 3 months. This time she has her eyes on Lin Hao. An 18-year-old boy, innocent and easy to deceive, can do it multiple times a night, and he has just finished 2 months of summer vacation. Song Lufeng couldn't stand it anymore, so he separated Lin Hao and Lu Xiangyun and said, "Beauty Lu, if you are hungry, there are many handsome and strong men around here. We, brother Lin, are not suitable for you." "Bah, Song Lufeng, I don't like you, so don't ruin my good deeds." Lu Xiangyun's face suddenly darkened, and the drunken look just now completely disappeared. Lin Hao couldn't see his current look because Song Lufeng blocked his view. "I thank God that you didn't fancy me, and thank you for being so noble to me." Song Lufeng didn't understand why Lu Xiangyun and Shui Yanner, two people with completely different personalities and outlooks, could become best friends. Go away, go away." Lu Xiangyun pushed Song Lufeng away, and then fell on Lin Hao. The wine in his hand spilled on their clothes, making them wet. "Brother Lin Hao, I'm drunk and can't even hold my drink. Can you help me back? I may not even be able to enter the room now. I need you." Lu Xiangyun's face was flushed, and the others looked a bit drunk and could not stand firmly on their feet. Lin Hao looked embarrassed, but before he could refuse, Song Lufeng threw something over. "Don't you live in the girls' dormitory? Boys are not allowed to enter the girls' dormitory. This is a dead rule of Wenk Academy." Lu Xiangyun didn't even look at Song Lufeng and said directly to Lin Hao, "I moved out of the girls' dormitory 2 months ago and moved into an apartment on campus. Both men and women can go in. I don't care, brother Lin Hao, you can send me back." "Well, brother, since others are so anxious to send her to your door, you should send her back." At this time, Lin Yarong and Shui Yanner came back. Seeing this scene, Lin Yarong said generously. Song Lufeng sighed softly and shook his head. The corners of Lu Xiangyun's mouth curled up slightly, feeling that she had succeeded. "Let's go together. It's already past 12 o'clock and it's time to go back," Lin Yarong said. Song Lufeng and Shui Yanner also nodded in agreement. They saved the remaining wine and drank it another day. They sent Lin Yarong back first. After leaving the evening show, 5 people squeezed into a taxi and took Lu Xiangyun back together. This was something Lu Xiangyun never expected. Along the way, Lu Xiangyun was thinking about how to leave Lin Hao behind and let the others go back on their own. It was already past 12 o'clock, and there were no cars on the way back to the university town. The taxi drove very fast, but it was stopped halfway into the university town. The military set up roadblocks on the highway into the university town, prohibiting entry and exit. "Huh? What's going on? Why is the military dispatched?" Everyone got out of the car. The military in front had just assembled and was ready to set off. The leader was Major Gordon Anarch, a subordinate of the Emperor of Binglan. He was the on-site commander who rescued Tianwan Square last time. Lin Yarong and Song Lufeng immediately stepped forward to ask what happened. When Gordon saw it was Lin Yarong and Song Lufeng, he asked, "Didn't you two receive the message requesting support from Wenk Academy?" "No, Song Lufeng was the host tonight and invited us to go to the nightclub. The place was too noisy and we didn't pay attention to any information." Lin Yarong and Song Lufeng quickly turned on the optical brain and checked the information. Sure enough, at 12 o'clock, the UED government's Superpower Management Office sent out a support message, requesting those with level 50 or above near Wenk Academy to come for support. Because the nightclub was too noisy and they both wanted to relax, Lin Yarong and Song Lufeng blocked the information from the optical brain and checked again when they were done having fun. Gordon looked at the time and said, "The situation inside is not optimistic now. I will lead 500 elites to go in first, and the large force will arrive later. You two are university elites above level 50. I am now fighting as a military emergency. The on-site command requires the two of you to go with the army to provide support." Accept the call. Lin Yarong and Song Lufeng agreed immediately. The two of them turned around, explained to Lin Hao, Shui Yanner, and Lu Xiangyun, then put on their equipment and went with the military's elite to support them. Lu Xiangyun quickly turned on the optical brain. She also completely blocked all information. Only now did she see that her school was attacked. At 11:30, the school AI sends out an attack alert, and all Wink Academy students, including the 7-Star Alliance students, will receive the message. At 12 o'clock the UED government issued a request for support. It's already 12:30 o'clock. I don't know what the situation is in the school now. The front is shrouded in darkness, and I can't feel that there is a large-scale fight at all. All right, who would attack a liberal arts college? It's better to choose during vacation. Enough support? Seeing that the taxi couldn't go any further, the taxi asked for payment, and then quickly turned around and went back to the bar street to continue soliciting customers. Lin Hao, Shui Yanner, and Lu Xiangyun were waiting for news outside the roadblock set up by the military. A fresh graduate, a student with an auxiliary power of just over 40 levels, a student from a liberal arts college with an F-level power, who has yet to wear force armor. The military did not require the 3 people to go to support. There are dozens of people in a similar situation to Lin Hao and the other 3, all of whom are students staying in school. They just came back from a night out and were stopped here. Everyone just learned that Wink Academy was attacked. The situation seemed to be quite serious, but no news came out about what happened inside. Of course, Lin Hao knew exactly what was happening inside now. He can understand the situation inside through the vision of the Orc Prophet. The Dark Moon Totem was sacrificed, and the strength of all the Dark Moon clan orcs who returned from Hell skyrocketed, almost overwhelming the teachers and students of the 7-Star Alliance. The teachers and students of the 7-Star Alliance once huddled up to form a Xuanwu formation, and all the tanks formed a circle and surrounded them. All of our personnel were protected inside, and the nannies worked together to activate the large-scale healing formation, Rain of Tranquility. The Rain of Light with a strong healing effect continued to sprinkle on the bodies of the tanks. While their wounds were desperately healing, new wounds were added to them under the attacks of the orcs. The APs and ads protected in the turtle shells were frantically taking medicine and outputting like crazy, but the orcs outside were standing in the shadows, and the damage they received could not be recovered as fast as they did. Even if they were hit by a powerful attack, their bodies would be instantly exploded. The Orc Prophet will also use the skill Ancestor Soul to immediately resurrect one from the shadows. Breaking through this turtle shell is just a matter of time, whether it is after 1 minute or 5 minutes. Just when everyone was praying for support to arrive quickly, the instructors discovered that the orcs who were hit by the Rain of Tranquility were fine at first, but slowly developed burns later on, which has a strong healing effect on their own people. The Holy Light increasing blood skill can actually cause damage to the orcs. Moreover, this kind of damage cannot be reversed and cannot be cured, so Black Shadow is prohibited from treating them. The orcs' attacks also showed weakness, and they were a little weak in the follow-up. The pressure on the tanks was finally relieved. The teachers and students of the 7-Star Alliance did not understand the reason, but Lin Hao knew very well that the level of the Orc Prophet had declined significantly, and the effects of his skills had also begun to decline, and the abilities and attributes of the summoned undead orcs had also declined significantly. At this time, superpowers who came from all directions to support them, as well as the elite team led by Gordon, had arrived at the scene. The number of people once reached 3,000, exceeding the number of orcs, which was close to 1,000. The teachers and students of the barrier class opened the star wall and let all the support personnel enter. The situation was immediately reversed. The orc warriors whose attributes and levels had already dropped were completely unable to withstand it and were killed one after another. All the orc warriors who were killed were killed. The body was swallowed up by the shadow, leaving no trace. Lin Hao began to ask the orc prophets to no longer use the Soul of Ancestors skills to resurrect their dead units, and put away the shadow totem. After all the orc warriors were killed, the black moon of the shadow totem descended, and then the totem submerged into the darkness. The black shadow that shrouded the place also submerged into the earth along with the totem, and finally everything returned to calm. If the square had not been in a mess after the war, people would have felt as if the orcs had never appeared at all, and everything had disappeared without a trace. After Gordon led the crowd to kill the orcs, they surrounded the gate of the breeding area and prepared to capture the orc prophet alive. The orc prophet just showed a contemptuous smile, and then his figure slowly retreated and disappeared into the darkness inside the breeding area. His dark red eyes gradually extinguished, and finally disappeared into the darkness. Gordon immediately realized that with so many orcs suddenly appearing, they must have been summoned by the shaman priest who activated the teleportation. He immediately yelled, "All high-level mentors will follow me and fight in." The nearby high-level instructor immediately set off, using his high-speed skills, and rushed into the breeding area with Gordon. Gordon was worried that the orc prophet would start teleporting to escape, so he had to interrupt its spellcasting before it started teleporting. But less than a second after they rushed in, there was a sudden, bang, explosion in the breeding area, which was so powerful that a small mushroom cloud even appeared. Gordon and the high-level instructors who rushed in were knocked out by the impact of the explosion. Although they were not seriously injured, they were all injured. Ma Dan. Gordon punched the ground, making a small crater. He didn't expect the explosion at all. It seemed that the orc prophet had teleported away, and the bomb that had been planted by the mastermind in advance had been detonated, which would make it difficult to collect evidence. Others also believed that this was an ambush bomb detonated in advance. Only Lin Hao knew that this was the servant skill of the orc prophet, sacrificing himself to restore life to his master. When sacrificed, an explosion would occur. This was what Lin Hao had just learned. After the orc prophet is sacrificed, he will return to darkness. As long as Lin Hao uses the command puppet, he can reconstruct it at any time. But there is no need now. After this incident passes, go back to the Demon City and summon it again to study slowly. At this point, the crisis at Wenk Academy has been resolved. The main force also arrived subsequently. Just like in all film and television works, the main force always appears after the incident is over. The instructors of each college in the 7-Star Alliance immediately counted the number of people in their own colleges. Although a large number of teachers and students were seriously injured, luckily no one died. The 7-Star Alliance defended its dignity with its own actions. In such an emergency, it was able to achieve 0 deaths and hold on until support arrived. Tomorrow, when the news comes out, the 7-Star Alliance's reputation will surely rise to a higher level. What they didn't know was that Lin Hao deliberately prevented the orc soldiers from killing people. After all, he launched the attack and took away other people's precious experimental products. It would be a bit too much to massacre other people's teachers and students. Just give them a real drill. Wenk Academy and the military jointly finished the final work. All the supporting superpowers retreated. Lin Yarong went back to find Lin Hao and left together. Wenk College was blocked by the military. Lu Xiangyun could not return to his apartment tonight, so he could only go to Shui Yanner's place for one night, without any sexual interest. Lin Yarong and Lin Hao sent them back before returning to the hotel. Tomorrow, the UED government and Wenk College will conduct a large-scale investigation. But Lin Yarong and Lin Hao didn't care at all. They had no idea of leaving. Firstly, it was because 2 of their parents' comrades had recently returned to the imperial capital from the European front for a vacation. They had to visit them. Last time they bought a hoverbike and went out for a ride. He even ran back because he received this news and was waiting for them to come back. Secondly, I wanted to stay and watch the show. It took hundreds of millions worth of props to complete the sneak attack. How could we not stay and watch the show? Just like a painter who paints a work that he is satisfied with, he must appreciate it carefully. The same is true for most criminals. The next day, the morning news caused a league-wide sensation. Wenk Academy, one of the 4 famous liberal arts universities, was attacked last night, and a large number of precious experimental subjects were destroyed. Suspected battle scenes leaked out, and many netizens praised it as awesome and enjoyable. These videos magnified the terror and power of the orcs several times through special techniques. Then, faced with the attacks of thousands of level 60 orcs, hundreds of teachers and students of the 7-Star Alliance withstood the charges again and again, and finally died with 0 brilliant achievements, persisting until the support of the army and other superpowers arrived. The video vividly demonstrates the perseverance, unity, friendship and seamless cooperation of teachers and students. There are a lot of shots of the teachers and students of Wenk Academy in the picture. Almost all of them are wearing Iron Man-like battle armor. The Force Gatling with real blue fire shoots infinitely, and the Force Particle Cannon is so shocking. The bombardment of people's hearts, everything is a boy's romance. There are also a few special shots, which are of the only girls from the Wink Academy. They are wearing armor that shows off their figures and are heroic. They do not retreat in the face of the ferocious orcs. The floating laser cannons behind them are dancing wildly. The orcs couldn't get close at all, and countless girls frantically called for them. It's just that most netizens didn't expect that these battle scenes were deliberately leaked by Wink Academy themselves. They stayed up all night and cooperated with the Academy's AI to cut and modify them based on actual battle videos. The UED government held a special temporary meeting on the afternoon of the next day to discuss the attack on Wink College. The dean was explaining how the college was attacked. The previous video still used serious AI footage, but the subsequent battle process used a large number of clipped videos by his own people as an explanation. The boss of the education department, as well as the deans of other top and famous colleges, all had their cheeks and eyelids twitching. You must have gone too far with your propaganda. According to the analysis of the original battle record video, the orcs were suspected of showing signs of mercy, but the 7-Star Alliance unanimously denied it, believing that the video they provided should be used as the criterion. The orcs were very powerful, but the teachers and students of the 7-Star Alliance were even more powerful. For this reason, after explaining the battle, a quarrel broke out and lasted for more than 10 minutes. Okay. Now is not the time to brag about how powerful the teachers and students of your college are. Now is the time to reflect on the loopholes in defense, and more importantly, to find out the real culprit behind the scenes and dig out the truth behind the scenes. The high priest of the temple tapped his fingers on the stage and said sternly. Everyone immediately shut up and the formal meeting officially began. Gordon, you started the investigation last night and mobilized manpower. What have you found so far? The high priest of the temple asked by name. Gordon stood up immediately, connected the optical brain to the conference screen, displayed the results of his investigation from last night to the present on the screen, and then explained them one by one. First of all, according to the video captured by the AI in the original breeding area, the murderers behind the scenes were a man, a woman and an evil spirit. After comparing all the databases, there was no information suitable for the identity of these two people. The AI scan results of the two people showed that they were both black energy groups. If they didn't have shielding props, their dark abilities were too powerful, blocking the scan. Since the explosion destroyed a lot of evidence at the scene, Gordon applied for the use of time-traveling props. Used 2 time-tracing props. The first one went back for a minute and discovered that the enemy did not have an ambush bomb. The explosion was caused by the self-destruction of the orc prophet. The second one went back for 3 minutes and discovered that the dark wizard teleported away directly using the magic book in his hand. Looking closely, the teleportation magic was just a random teleportation rune engraved on the magic book. It looked like random teleportation scroll posted in advance. The random teleportation scroll on the market is this kind of rune. After casting the spell, it can be randomly teleported to any location within a radius of 1,000 miles. However, the effect is not very stable. After use, it may appear at the maximum distance of 1,000 miles, or it may only appear at 2 meters. External location. If combined with the spatial coordinates of another prop, referred to as a beacon, the teleportation position can be well controlled. However, road signs are quite expensive, and even a broken bone would cost hundreds of millions. But for those who dare to attack Wink Academy, the road sign will definitely not be a problem. Therefore, it is impossible to trace where the dark mage teleported to. Such people usually teleport continuously to ensure that they will not be traced. Wink Academy was very dissatisfied with this result and took out 4 time-tracing props to cooperate with the investigation. The third plus fourth one took a total of 10 minutes to return. I used the time limit of each one to the maximum, and finally understood how the orc prophet recovered. Everyone was shocked. What kind of skills could do such a thing? Any skill known so far, no matter what attribute it is, especially the dark attribute, absolutely does not have this skill. It feels a bit like being controlled and possessed by the old ones, but I can't be completely sure because it's just like, not the same. The 5th one went back for 5 minutes and discovered that the dark mage emerged from the sewer. I thought it was some important discovery, but after going back for 5 minutes on the 6th one, I found that the dark magician used a beacon to teleport directly to the sewer of Wink Academy, and then climbed up the manhole cover. Ma Dan, are you kidding us? You can obviously use those bugs to bring the beacon up and then teleport directly over. But teleport to the sewer and then climb the manhole cover? We wasted 2 time-tracing props? Everyone at Wink Academy was furious when they saw the results of the survey. The time travel props are very expensive. The high priest of the temple raised his hand to ask them to be quiet first, and Gordon continued to make a report. Because the continuous use of the time-tracing props consumes too much and we still cannot find any relevant information, we stopped using the time-tracing props. We started investigating from the direction in which the Zerg traveled in the sewer. The investigation found that the worms entered in large numbers at the outlet of suburban sewers in the afternoon and stayed there until evening before starting to move into the city. They were suspected to be driven by something, and they advanced and retreated in a measured manner with a clear purpose, which was to go directly to the city, Wink Academy. Gordon showed pictures of the destroyed entrance to the sewer suburbs, along with photos of traces of Zerg lingering near the entrance. Everyone frowned after reading the report. The current evidence shows that the Zerg swam from the river, and the source cannot be traced. The Dark Mage used teleportation directly and could not trace the source. The director of the Special Investigation Bureau frowned and said, after driving so many Zerg attacks, spending so much money on teleportation, resurrecting the orc prophets, and then summoning a large number of orcs to attack, the last person was not killed. The orcs were slaughtered. The orcs were completely slaughtered. The prophet even self-destructed. What did the Dark Magician want to do? It seems that he got nothing. This is illogical. Everyone began to wonder, is the investigation going in the wrong direction? At this time, the assistant appeared behind the high priest of the temple and handed a piece of information to the high priest. The high priest glanced at it, projected the information on the screen, and then said, "Eod has just been announced. Take a look." In the video played on the screen, a man in a dress and mask was giving a passionate speech, claiming responsibility for the attack. In the conference hall, everyone was in a frenzy. The waters became a little muddy after EOD claimed responsibility for the attack. The military planned to raid EOD's northern stronghold, and the time was scheduled to be the day after the Wink Academy was attacked. Moreover, the raid went very smoothly, with a large number of elites dispatched. In just half a day, the northern stronghold of EOD was breached, and a large number of EOD believers were captured, including even the man in a dress mask. After this news came out, it was simply exciting. Most netizens believed that this was a powerful response to the government's multiple terrorist attacks on EOD. EOD was furious. Originally, he just wanted to disgust you, but in the end, you really came, right? On the day after the northern stronghold was destroyed, he launched an attack in the southern demon capital, raiding Kaiming College, one of the 4 universities, blowing up the laboratory and taking away a large number of half-researched experimental products. Now, things have become a bit off topic. The government and extreme anti-humanity organizations are completely at loggerheads. Although they were mortal enemies before, intensive and large-scale confrontations have been rare in the past 100 years. A week after the Wink Academy was attacked, Lu Xiangyun finally finished the work at hand and made an appointment with Lin Hao for afternoon tea. "Brother Lin Hao, if you treat me to afternoon tea today, you can treat me as a reward for my hard work during this time." When Lu Xiangyun saw Lin Hao coming, she immediately started acting coquettishly. She still didn't give up, and she didn't change her goal for the time being. She still wanted to win over Lin Hao, spend a romantic summer vacation, and then switch to a younger brother when school starts. Lin Hao said, "No problem. I'll buy you a cup of coffee to refresh yourself. I see you have dark circles under your eyes." "No, I've been busy this week. I really don't understand why EOD attacked the experimental breeding area of a liberal arts college. It's just like a zoo, a bunch of lunatics." Lu Xiangyun complained that half of the breeding area was destroyed by the bombing, and now it needs to be demolished and rebuilt. Since there were very few students on campus during the holidays, there was a lot of work, and her professor was the main expert in orc research. She was almost the student supervisor of half of the breeding area, and she handled almost all the daily work. "It's just that I don't understand why we have to attack a zoo. I'm going to buy coffee. Senior sister will wait for a while." Lin Hao agreed, got up and went to the front desk to order coffee. In the breeding area of Wink Academy, all the experimental subjects have lost their mobility using special treatment methods. It is difficult for any treatment skills to restore the mobility of the experimental subjects, let alone the AI automatic defense system hanging over their heads. This has resulted in almost become a zoo of orcs. Every year Wink Academy charges people to visit and makes a lot of money. It's just that those 2 days happened to be a holiday for cleaning, and no outsiders were allowed to visit for the time being. Lu Xiangyan and Shui Yun'er were best friends for many years, so they opened the back door. This is why there is a sightseeing floating car that goes from the gate to the entrance of the breeding area. Lin Yarong had an idea when she came in and saw this thing that day. This is one of the reasons why Lin Yarong agreed to Lin Hao's attack at night. To this day, no one understands why EOD attacked a zoo. However, the behavior of madmen is often beyond the understanding of ordinary people, so they are called madmen. Therefore, whatever EOD does will be understood by the general public. Even if it is a lunatic, it is not strange to do anything. Senior, your coffee. Lu Xiangyun took a look and saw that the cappuccino had a love flower on it that symbolized a couple. How did this little boy know that he liked to drink this? Senior, I don't understand. Is it really EOD that attacked Wink Academy? Lin Hao asked while drinking black coffee. This is not the first time they have used the method of controlling Zerg attacks. Then they used beacons plus teleportation scrolls to block all traces of the investigation. They spent so much money but only attacked a zoo. Who else could be there besides them? You know, beacons are very expensive. Even if everyone has them, they are used to escape. Use them to commit crimes and you will be killed in minutes. There was a fool who robbed a bank and used beacons to escape, but he got back the money. It's not as expensive as the Taoist standard. Lu Xiangyun said casually while drinking coffee. The information she mentioned had already been circulated in Wink College. She also asked the professor, and the professor said that it had been confirmed when she went to the meeting. Lu Xiangyun also told Lin Hao that the results of the investigation have been announced within the academy. The beacon and the random teleportation scroll are combined to make it completely untraceable. Using the time retrieval prop, you can only see the scene teleported by the initiator. Where did he teleport it? Cannot be traced. After hearing this, Lin Hao thought to himself, of course, I used a total of 4 beacons. For ordinary people, road signs are very expensive props, but Lin Yarong happened to have them. Her dean and mentor gave her a few as a spare. Senior, is it true that there are no clues at all? Lin Hao asked. After scanning and analyzing the images captured by the AI, we can only see a dark energy group with a humanoid appearance, and no information about the murderer can be obtained at all. The above believes that this is a high-level dark power user. Insects, high-level dark-type weird powers, and beacon teleportation, only EOD fully meets these requirements. Besides, they also recognized it. Even Kaiming College, one of the 4 liberal arts universities in the southern Demon City, there was an attack. The government felt there was no need to investigate anymore. My professor said that even if it was really someone else who did it, such a lunatic would definitely join EOD. Just attack EOD directly. What Lu Xiangyun said is almost no secret within Wink Academy. Lin Hao smiled inwardly. He really wanted to thank EOD for being such a jerk. Hey, it's because of these lunatics that you, senior, have been so tired during this period, with dark circles under your eyes and weight loss. I feel a little heartbroken. Lin Hao changed the topic and no longer asked so deliberately. Is this little guy finally enlightened? Lu Xiangyun felt that there was something going on tonight. No, I'm very busy this week. I don't care, you have to go have a drink with me tonight and relax. As Lu Xiangyun said this, she leaned her legs towards Lin Hao. Tonight, it might be a bit troublesome. Can you change the time? Lin Hao had a troubled expression on his face. Huh? What? Is there anything more important than accompanying me for a drink or two? Lu Xiangyun said unhappily. I have an appointment with an elder tonight and I am going to his house for dinner, Lin Hao said. Lu Xiangyun thought, aren't you here to travel to the imperial capital? What other elders are there? I asked around a long time ago and found out that your 2 siblings are orphans and have never heard of any relatives. Buzz buzz, a hover motorcycle drove over quickly and stopped on the side of the road, not far from where Lin Hao and Lu Xiangyun were sitting. The girl on the suspended motorcycle took off her helmet, and when Lu Xiangyun saw it, she turned out to be Lin Yarong. Brother, let's go. If you don't leave, you will be late. When asked to go to dinner by the elders, the worst thing is to be late. Lin Yarong said to Lin Hao. Lin Hao stood up quickly and said to Lu Xiangyun, I'm sorry, senior, I have to go. I'll have a drink with you another day. After saying that, she climbed over the fence on the side of the road and sat on the back seat of the suspended motorcycle. Lin Yarong turned the accelerator and ran away. Huh? Just ran away? Lu Xiangyun opened her mouth slightly, feeling extremely unhappy. Next time, I make sure you can't escape from my hands. Lin Hao told Lin Yarong the news he had just learned. Lin Yarong said, as expected. The beacon is basically an artifact for escaping and committing crimes, but it is relatively expensive. If used to commit crimes, the gain is likely to be inversely proportional to the consumption. Lin Hao said, Sister, if there is a road sign, any valuable things can be stolen and cannot be traced. Lin Yarong smiled. Brother, how is that possible? There are ways to commit crimes, and there are ways to deal with them. Most of them are barriers that can block the space, so they can't be teleported out or in. Even if there are road signs, it's useless. But this barriers to prevent teleportation will only be placed in important places, like the breeding area, which is basically a zoo, so it is impossible to place such a thing. Lin Hao said, Sister, I am impatient this time. I should wait a few days and make a detailed plan. I can use 2 less signposts. Didn't you say that the soul of the orc prophet was taken away by you? The alarm that day was actually an alarm that it was dead. Although Lu Xiangyun injected the medicine, it only showed basic signs of life temporarily, but it would definitely be destroyed the next day, found dead. The dead experimental subjects will be taken away for dissection, and where they will be taken is completely beyond our control. After a few days, the dissection may be completed, and the corpses will be thrown into the incinerator and burned to ashes. How can you turn it into a puppet? There is no defense there, so I support you to attack that night. 2 more beacons are nothing, you just need to think it's worth it. Lin Yarong said this. She believed that as long as I think it is worth it, let alone 4 beacons, even if I spend the last 2 beacons in the storage halo, there will be no problem. For ordinary people, road signs are very expensive props, but Lin Yarong is different. Her dean and mentor gave her several spare ones. If she doesn't have any, she can just ask her mentor for them. The star student created by the college's efforts is so willful. Lin Hao was holding Lin Yarong's waist in the back seat, with his chest pressed against her back. This was the feeling of a biological mother. Mom, no, sister, where are we going now? Isn't this the way to Aunt Fu Yayu's house? Lin Hao almost said what he was thinking, but luckily he discovered the problem in time and changed the topic. The location has changed. Uncle Sanjidao said that if we go to his house, Aunt Yayu will come too, Lin Yarong said. Lin Hao remembered Uncle Sanjidao who had the word, hot, written on his face. It was he who went to school to support Lin Hao that year, and Zhang Jin, the president of the Thorn Gold Guild, was so frightened that he came to apologize in person. Aunt Fu Yayu and Uncle Sanjidao were comrades in arms of Lin Hao's parents. UED's 55 system tactic, the most basic and core 5-man combat team, is composed of 5 superpowers with different development directions: tank, combat, stabbing, magic, shooting, and breast milk. It has been demonstrated by experts many times and is composed by a large amount of data supports the best tactical team combination. Members of the tactical team where Lin Hao's parents belong. The tank is an SSR level Holy Light Knight, Lin Hao's father, Lin Guanyin. The warrior is an SSR level Valkyrie, Lin Hao's mother, Li Yu. The mage is an SSR level Fire Spirit God, 3 Seasons Dao, and the shooter is an SSR level Skywalker, Wu Mingxuan. The wet nurse is an SSR level Sage Mentor, Fu Yayu. A tactical team with all SSR level abilities and an average level above 90. This is the ace among aces, invincible. During the important battle to regain the Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Mesopotamia Triangle area, the dimensional passage suddenly opened, and the ruler of the old days descended, that is Yidra, known as the weakest outer god. Attacked by the sudden arrival of Idhala, this ace team still killed Idhala on the spot and closed the suddenly opened dimensional channel, making the battle a final victory, opening up the line to Europe and turning the battle line from the area from the Black Sea to the Caspian Sea was pushed to the Mediterranean Sea, and the 2 river basins were also fully occupied, and the Arabian Peninsula was within its grasp. However, the price paid was also very heavy. Lin Hao's parents and Wu Mingxuan died in the battle. Fu Yayu's eyes were dug out by Idhala and could not be cured, and Sanjidao's right arm was broken and could not be replaced. Many people said that if the 2 of them had not suffered irreversible trauma, they would still be lieutenant generals no matter how bad they were. But there are no ifs in this world. Sanjidao used alcohol to drown his sorrows and almost became a complete wreck. His wife divorced him and took their son away. Fu Yayu's situation was better, but she couldn't accept the reality for a while. She locked herself up in the temple for several years and has not gotten married yet. It took several years for the 2 of them to come out of the shadows. But life also got messy. The 3 marshals personally invited the 2 men to return to serve in the army. Sanjidao served as the frontline chief of staff in the army, and Fu Yayu was the top person in charge of the frontline base hospital. The 2 of them are now almost completely devoted to their work, completely forgetting the past. If it weren't for their former comrades and their 2 children, the 2 of them would almost have lived on the front line and never come back. Lin Yarong had previously sent a message to the 2 of them, saying that Lin Hao had been admitted to the Magic City Wujiaocheng Academy, also known as the Demon Academy, one of the 4 liberal arts universities. The two decided to come back to celebrate their child before Lin Hao entered the school. The siblings came to the suburbs. This place is almost out of the imperial capital, with patches of crop fields, and not far away is Sanjidao's hometown. When Sanjidao got divorced, apart from his equipment, all other valuables were given to his ex-wife. Now the only house he has in the imperial capital is the old house in the countryside where his grandparents used to live. Sanjidao renovated the place, but it still maintained the atmosphere of a small village yard decades ago and did not change it into an urban-style villa. No one would have imagined that the chief of staff of the Arab Front Combat Command only lives in a small farmhouse in the imperial capital. After Lin Hao got out of the car, he looked at the small yard. It looked like he was back in the countryside farming. Lin Yarong put away the hoverbike, stepped forward and pushed open the iron gate outside the yard, and shouted inside, "Is Uncle Sanjidao here? I am Yarong." Lin Hao followed the old sister and went in directly. There are 3 bungalows in the small yard. The one on the front is the living area, the one on the left is the toilet, and the one on the right is the semi-open kitchen. There was a dog at the door, without a leash. It looked different from the dogs kept by ordinary people, like some variant. The dog seemed to know Lin Yarong and Lin Hao. He just raised half of his eyes to look at them, then closed them again and continued to sleep. Sanjidao came out of the house, with his long hair hanging down on his shoulders. His supposedly handsome face looked like a picture scroll that had accumulated over the years, with intriguing stories painted on it. The outline of his facial features is like a bronze sculpture that has been tempered by time, and his eyes are deep but a little confused. The right sleeve is empty. This is the glory of killing the old one. He was holding a skinned and gutted lamb in his left hand, calling for Lin Hao and Lin Yarong to come over and help. "Uncle, what's wrong with your eyes?" When Lin Hao got closer, he discovered that his left eye, which had just been blocked by his hair, actually had a cyclops eye patch on. What happened? Uncle Sanjidao lost one eye. Just when the 2 siblings, Lin Yarong and Lin Hao, were about to get angry, a voice full of mother's love came from the house. "What's the matter? He's just pretending to be like you young people." It was Fu Yayu who was speaking. She was walking out holding a large plate filled with various secret spices that had just been prepared. Fu Yayu, who is over 50 years old, has jet black hair tied into a long ponytail, and his eyes are wrapped with a piece of silk cloth with runes. His skin is as delicate, smooth and elastic as a newborn baby, as if it can reflect the purity and kindness in his heart. As if the traces of time have never left any mark on her body. Her face is kind and peaceful, exuding a warm light like a virgin. Her smile is like the spring breeze blowing on the face, bringing endless comfort and strength to people. His temperament is elegant and solemn, as if he is a wise man who has experienced the baptism of wind and rain. 20 years ago, she was the strongest nanny and sage mentor in the entire league, but she did not admit that she was the strongest, because in the years when Lin Hao was seriously ill, she used her own healing skills on Lin Hao. Regardless of single target, neither groups nor formations could cure Lin Hao. Therefore, she felt that she could not be called the strongest nanny at all. In fact, Fu Yayu's healing skills took effect, and the effect was very good. However, he just started to recover a little bit of blood, and was taken away by the 3 plugins to fight. The amount of recovery was taken away, and it didn't seem to have any effect. This incident almost caused Fu Yayu to become autistic and she doubted her life for a while. Seeing Fu Yayu, Lin Hao immediately rushed up to take the big plate from her hand and said, "Auntie, who do you think is pretending?" Fu Yayu said, "It's your uncle Sanjidao. Do you think he's blind in one eye? He's not me. That eye is fine. He's just pretending. In the words of you young people, he's just trying to be cool." "Ah, no way." Lin Yarong and Lin Hao were both stunned. Logically speaking, there is no way that Uncle Sanjidao would chase stars or play cosplay like those little brats. Sanjidao said, "What do you two know? Come and help, take out the grill, put the charcoal, and start a fire to roast the lamb." Lin Yarong shook her head and ordered Lin Hao, and Lin Hao immediately ran to the kitchen to carry out the shelf. Taking advantage of this time, Lin Yarong leaned over to Fu Yayu and asked, "Auntie, what is Uncle Sanjidao doing?" Fu Yayu said, "He just read some strange books somewhere and thought wearing a one-eyed eye patch was very elegant. Then he said that his one-eyed wife had run away and he was known as the 3K Taoist. This matter is everyone on the front line treated him as a joke, but he thought he was very handsome." Sanjidao said, "What do you know? I'm so handsome, I have to put some wind and frost on my face." But I can't use a knife to make scars on my face, right? Isn't it right to wear a one-eye patch now? In terms of temperament, I know your uncle very well. Lin Yarong immediately applauded. Yes, it does look like a weather-beaten. What is it? Pirate? Pirate? Lin Hao carried the barbecue grill out and helped the elder sister pick up the conversation. Yes, they are pirates, the silly ones in movies. Lin Yarong laughed. Sanjidao said, you girl, go and move the charcoal. Lin Yarong hurriedly went to the woodshed behind to move charcoal. Lin Hao installed the barbecue grill, and then together with Sanjidao, skewered the lamb and put it on the rack. Lin Yarong took out the charcoal and piled it underneath. Sanjidao used the fire control technique to light the charcoal, and the fire burned brightly in an instant. Lin Yarong sat down next to Fu Yayu and was lazy. The tiring work of roasting sheep was left to two men. Yarong, what are your mother's skills that you haven't mastered? Fu Yayu took Lin Yarong's hand and asked while sitting aside. Before, I still lacked the two light-based skills of devotion and sacred mission, but with the help of Lord Ice King, I spent a lot of resources and got them. Lin Yarong said, leaning next to Fu Yayu. That means that the 6 prerequisites for advancing to level 60 to obtain the Valkyrie profession, inspiring military morale, combat dodge, fearlessness, strength and belief, dedication, and sacred mission, are all ready? Fu Yayu asked. Well, it's all ready. The teacher and my uncle also made adjustments for me, specifically helping me to use the 3 skills of Fury, Weapon Master, Sword Mastery, and Unstoppable together. It feels even more powerful, Lin Yarong said. Fu Yayu said, that's good. Your teacher is older than us, and they have more experience than us. With his guidance, you will definitely become a more powerful Valkyrie than your mother in the future. There is no problem for me to inherit my mother's title, as long as I reach level 60. However, Xiao Hao has not awakened his father's power, so he has no chance to inherit his father's title, Lin Yarong said. Xiao Hao is his parents' biological son. Although Xiao Hao's current powers are very powerful, he did not inherit them from his father. Fu Yayu said, if there is no inheritance, there is no inheritance. I don't think inheritance is a good thing. Xiao Hao takes the liberal arts route and does not have to go to the battlefield. That is a good thing. San Jidao was roasting a sheep on the side and overheard the conversation between the two, and also intervened. The battlefield is extremely dangerous. God knows if you will encounter an old ruler if you take one step forward. Or should you stay in the university by taking the liberal arts route? The rear is better. Girl, let me tell you, it's best for you to switch to strategic command after graduation. If you can't go to the front line, don't go to the front line. I don't want to go to the front line either. Then I will find a way to ask the teacher to help me. Lin Yarong agreed. Both siblings know that even though the two elders seem to be fine now, the shadow in their hearts is still there. Every time we talk about this kind of thing, the atmosphere becomes dull. Lin Hao quickly turned on the optical brain, played TV programs or funny videos to watch together, and changed the topic to lighten the atmosphere. Just in time, the 6 o'clock news is playing. Play another important news below. In the early hours of yesterday morning, the military dispatched a large number of elite troops and successfully destroyed an EOD stronghold hidden in the Shiwan Mountains in the southwest. This operation was carried out based on in-depth intelligence analysis and careful planning, aiming to crack down on those anti-human elements who have long-term harmed social security. During this operation, the army accurately attacked the EOD stronghold with thunderous force. After fierce fighting, all EOD believers were subdued, and the criminal evidence in the stronghold was also confiscated one by one, and a large number of aliens captured by EOD were rescued. Those who are capable. This successful operation is an important step for our government to resolutely crack down on crimes against humanity and maintain social security. We will continue to strengthen intelligence collection and action planning, and resolutely crack down on all crimes against humanity. Please see the live report. Next, the scene shifted to the scene, where the military was loading the captured EOD believers into trucks and transporting them away. On the screen, the man in the dress mask appeared again. Lin Hao couldn't help it and said, what's going on? Wasn't this guy caught by the Emperor of Binglan? He was the one who was announced in the video responsible for the attack before. He was seen again in the news about the annihilation of the northern stronghold. Now there are 100,000 people in the southwest. There is still him in Deshan stronghold. Why is he everywhere? Don't tell me that he is just the same person with the same clothes and dress. Lin Yarong also said, that's right, can he be a clone? San Jidao smiled. Don't tell me yet, this guy can really clone himself. Ah, Lin Hao and Lin Yarong were confused. The clone's skills were not just mirror images. Although they could release skills and deal damage, they could not move too far away from the main body. What the hell is going on with this thing, uncle? Even if he really knows how to clone, it's impossible for the clone to be so far away from the main body, right? Besides, there are too many clones, right? Lin Hao asked directly. He was most concerned about the man in the dress mask. From the first time they met at the hospital in Shanghai, and then again at the Tianwan Square in the capital a few days later, it was certain that the two of them were destined to have sparks colliding with the earth. Lin Yarong asked, "Uncle, do you know anything?" Sanjidao said, "When the Ice Emperor caught him before, he thought that one of the 4 heavenly kings of EOD, Kui Silon, could not be so weak, so he subdued him with just one move. If the 4 heavenly kings were at this level, EOD would have been there 200 years ago. It was destroyed, and it was impossible to jump to the present. So the Ice King held a special meeting to discuss it." Fu Yayu said, "Both of us participated in this discussion. After expert research, we concluded that the one captured by Ice King was a clone that was split through fission reproduction." Sanjidao continued, "This guy should have been given the secondary ability of fission by the old rulers. He can split several or even multiple bodies. The power of each body is distributed by the main body, and it can walk outside as an independent individual. The main body can recycle power by swallowing and absorbing clones. This is fundamentally different from our skill clones. Each clone is an independent individual, but it is an integral part of the main body." Fu Yayu said, "According to inference, the power allocated to the clone captured by the Ice King is not very strong. It is easy to kill him, but these powers will slowly return to Shi Kui Jilong. But if he is kept frozen, this part of the power is equivalent to being banned. Shi Chui Lan will always lose this part of the power." San Jidao said, "So, I made a bold suggestion. Our force technology has already achieved nanometer breakthroughs, and the military has even mastered picometer-level technology. We inject picometer-level trackers into the clone, sell a flaw, let EOD rescue the clone, and then, Lin Hao asked, "Can't you tell that EOD is intentional?" Fu Yayu said, "No, as long as EOD comes to kidnap the prisoner, it will immediately kill the clone with a force weapon. And the PME-level tracker will only be injected after the clone dies." Lin Yarong felt confused. Injected into the corpse? If they see that the clones are dead, they just don't want it anymore. Can't they just wait for the strength to return slowly? Sanjidao said, "Don't worry, it won't happen for sure. The two of us are very familiar with his ability. The power is attached to the individual. Even if it turns into a corpse, it will still be attached to it. Only the corpse has been decomposed, and the power has no attachment. He will return to his true form, which can be as fast as 3 or 5 years. If you are unlucky, this time maybe 10 or 8 years, so he will definitely absorb all the corpses back." Lin Hao felt that there was a big article in it, so he asked, "Uncle, Aunt, why are you so familiar with this ability of his?" Sanjidao said nothing, brushing secret sauce on the lamb. Fu Yayu said calmly, "The ability of fission incarnation is owned by the old ruler Yubo Sasla. The first individual it produced through fission was the Dream Witch Idola. This ability is you can't learn from the bloodline. Yupo Sazra never came, and Idola obviously died in our hands, but why?" San Jidao interrupted, "Yayu, stop talking. Don't involve the children in these matters. Let us settle it ourselves." Fu Yayu thought for a while and said, "Well, let us make a decision ourselves, and the children won't ask." "No, why can't I ask? My parents died at the hands of Idola, Lin Hao was anxious, and so was Lin Yarong. Why didn't he let himself intervene? San Ji said, "Have you ever thought about asking?" "Yes, I'll wait until you successfully pass the level 80 promotion mark before asking again. When the time comes, we will tell you whatever you want to ask. You are only level 20, why are you asking? Even if the enemy is standing in front of you right now, if you take one more look, you will immediately go crazy, and you have no right to interfere now." But Lin Hao wanted to say that he was different. Lin Yarong stopped her brother, turned off the light and brain, changed the subject and said, "What to watch on TV during mealtime? Come on, it's time to start. Don't overcook the lamb. I heard that people in ancient times ate it medium rare." As he spoke, he picked up a knife, cut the meat from the lamb leg into thin slices, and placed it on the plate. Fu Yayu said, "Girl, why did the ancients eat lamb 3-minute rare? Do you think it's steak? Even if it's steak, the minimum is 7 points?" Sanjidao said, "What is 7 points? It must be fully cooked. It must be fully cooked but not overcooked. It must be tender and smooth, then it can be said to be good at eating." Who doesn't know how to brag? Come and try it until it's fully cooked, tender and smooth. Fu Yayu didn't believe it anymore and insisted on roasting it for 3 seasons. This is a sheep, not a cow. I'll get a lamb to roast for you next time, Sanjidao said. Lin Yarong had already cut a thin plate of mutton, coated it with secret spices, and said to Sanjidao, "Uncle, it's time to test your ability to control fire. Just one, no more, no less, just right, not too old, burnt." Sanjidao picked up the whole plate of mutton and said, "Girl, you don't know, I am playing with fire and claiming second place, and no one dares to claim first place. Just watch it." After saying that, Sanjidao didn't use any skills. He just used his firepower to wrap the plate, and the mutton fat and spices inside were making a sizzling sound. Counting the time by seconds, 144 seconds is just right. Lin Yarong directly picked up a piece of meat with her hands and fed it to Fu Yayu first, and then to Lin Hao. Lin Hao was unhappy and didn't want to eat. Lin Yarong stepped on his instep and glared at him. "Open your mouth." Lin Hao almost shed tears from the pain, but he didn't dare to shout, so he opened his mouth and ate the meat obediently. With the fresh taste and smooth texture, Lin Hao couldn't help but say, "F***K, it's delicious." Fu Yayu said, "Xiao Hao, be careful not to use foul language." Lin Hao said, "Auntie, I'm not using bad language, it's just that I haven't read enough books. I don't know how to describe the deliciousness of this mutton. In desperation, I can only express my shock by saying, F***K. Everyone laughed. Is this still called uneducated? Well, it is indeed uneducated. Laughter and laughter echoed in the small courtyard, and Lin Hao also let go of his temper. The elders are all for their own good. Late at night, on the way back to the hotel, Lin Yarong told Lin Hao not to ask about the man in the dress and mask again. Don't even ask before you have the strength. Otherwise, it's food delivery like a family meal. Lin Hao also understood that being a weakling was the original sin and there was nothing to say. At present, all the things that should be done and should not be done during the trip to the imperial capital are done. It is time to go back to the magic city, find a way to get the Condor's rune, and quickly advance to the next level. Then, should I level up after enrolling in school, or should I level up first and then enroll? This issue needs to be studied carefully. The next day, Lin Hao and Lin Yarong came to visit again, bid farewell to Sanjidao and Fu Yayu, and then flew back to Shanghai. This was Lin Hao's first time going to the imperial capital. So many things happened, which was quite exciting. I almost lost my life. It's better to be in Magic City, a treasure land of feng shui. I haven't encountered anything bad here for so long. Well, except for 101 hospital last time. That was just a coincidence, a pure coincidence. After returning home, after just 1 day's rest, Lin Yarong hurriedly went to the housing authority to transfer the property. The agent urged her many times, and the appointment time was changed again and again. Lin Hao went to the trading floor and left a message for his previous employer. Although you can leave messages in the Imperial City, I still feel like it's better to go back to the demonic city. No reason, I'm just afraid that something unexpected will happen to him again. UED and EOD are currently fighting, although the scene of the fight has shifted from the Imperial capital to the north, then from the north to the demon capital in the south, and then to the southwest. But there is no guarantee that those madmen from EOD will strike back at the Imperial capital and catch the military off guard. Still in the small room, Lin Hao opened a system, entered his account number, found the transaction list, then pulled out the employer and left him a message, hoping to buy the Candora's rune in his hand. After Lin Hao left a message, he was ready to log off and leave. Before I clicked confirm, the employer actually responded. This is fate, do you understand? God wants me to advance quickly, and nothing can stop me. My butt had already left the chair, but now it came back. I sat down and clicked on the reply. There was only one number plus one Chinese character on it. 1 billion. Damn it, I'm not uneducated now, I'm angry. You're selling a piece of broken skin for 1 billion? Lin Hao cursed, his mood swings increased, green light shone on his head, and he immediately calmed down. I haven't found a second person with this rune so far. Although I know very few people, I have never heard of a second person with this rune. What if he is the only one? Isn't it just 1 billion? Although I am not very rich, I can still afford it. 1 billion can help me solve the problem of advancing to the next level, which is really a good deal. Calm Lin Hao immediately replied. Deal? From reading the message to replying, it takes less than 20 seconds. The other side this time, Gu Panpan followed the professor's instructions and came to shop again. She needed a demonic monster beast core called the Mother of Evil. That beast core was very special because it was the heart of the Mother of Evil. There are very few monsters whose heart is their core, and the Evil Mother is one of them. Just after I came to the trading floor and sat down for a while, I saw the person from before sending a message. Gu Panpan directly equated this person with Lin Yarong. In her understanding, this was Lin Yarong's trumpet, which was specially used to accept private work or sell some shady things. Many elites in schools do this, and they must have some vests. I saw the message saying that I want to purchase the Candora's rune. Gu Panpan himself had forgotten what it was. Anyway, it must not be something valuable if he had no impression of it. As long as the value exceeds 10 million, Gu Panpan can remember it clearly. Last time I caused myself to bleed heavily, this time I must make her bleed too. Think about it, forget it, that woman is very smart, it is probably difficult to make her bleed profusely, just disgust her. I directly sent back 1 billion, and then opened the transaction order list to see if there was any beast core I wanted for sale. Just when I opened the pending order interface, I received a message from the other side, 2 words, deal done. Holy crap, are you sick? You don't have to worry about it. What on earth is the Candora's rune? Is it more expensive than 1 billion? Gu Panpan quickly opened her optical brain and started searching. Fortunately, I have the habit of making a warehouse directory, and everything that goes in and out of my storage will be recorded. Soon, she found the Candora's rune on the last line of the 3rd page of her warehouse catalog. You want a piece of broken skin, 1 billion? An unknown rune was engraved on the skin of the unknown creature. It was named the Rune of Candoras just because the explorer who brought it back dreamed of the name Candoras. No matter how you reproduce this rune, you cannot use its power. Because it naturally emits a strangely beautiful blue-white shimmer, it can only be used as a decoration. It was originally Professor Gu Panpan's collection, but when I was cleaning it, I felt that the broken skin really affected the aesthetics, so I gave it to Gu Panpan to dispose of. But the skin with the runes engraved on it was so worn that no one liked it, and no one did the cutting after buying it, so it kept gathering dust in the warehouse and couldn't be sold at all. Did Lin Yarong find a way to use the Candora's rune? No, she's not a rune master. Besides, this rune is just this one. Where did she learn how to use it? Has a problem? Gu Panpan was still thinking about what the problem was. At this time, Lin Hao had already paid 1 billion, which was collected by the trading hall, and requested Gu Panpan to complete the transaction. No, I didn't agree. Seeing that the AI system in the trading hall asked Gu Panpan to take out the runes to complete the transaction, Gu Panpan said quickly. The AI system pulled out the chat record between the two. It showed that user L wanted to buy runes, user G responded with a price of 1 billion, and user L agreed to the transaction and paid 1 billion. The AI then asked, do I need to reject the transaction? If the transaction is rejected, the credit rating may be lowered. Gu Panpan. I definitely won't refuse, but I want to increase the price. AI. Temporary price increases will also affect credit ratings, and a downgrade will be the same as rejecting a transaction. Gu Panpan was furious, didn't he increase the price temporarily last time? AI. The other party accepted the credit rating reduction, but since the other party has no credit rating at all, he needs to pay first and then get the goods during the transaction. Gu Panpan was speechless, he actually had no credibility at all. Take a deep breath and calm down. The current account is not my own personal account, it belongs to the professor's project team. It is considered a public account. Although I am currently managing it, for the project team, the credit rating is very important and I cannot act on my own initiative. Besides, a scrap of skin has been eating away at the dust for a long time. At first, the professor only bought it for hundreds of thousands and used it as a decoration. Now he sells it for 1 billion, so he can make a lot of money. However, as a quasi-scholar, what if the other party really masters the use of the Candora's rune? I really want to know how that thing is used, and because of its weird but beautiful appearance, I really want to know what it does. Gu Panpan took out the broken skin engraved with the runes of Candoras from the storage halo and handed it to the AI intelligent robot that came to receive the goods. I have a request. Please ask the other party for me. Does she know how to use this rune? If so, be sure to ask her to tell me. AI. The goods have been received and your questions will be forwarded. Not long after the robot left, Gu Panpan's account received 1 billion. Received and confirmed the goods so quickly? According to the time when the robot left, the woman was very close to him, very close. Lin Hao waited for a while, and the robot came over. It seems that the other party is quite happy, and it is not as troublesome as I thought. I thought the other party would embarrass me now because of the temporary price increase last time. I didn't expect it to be so generous, but the price is a bit high. After getting the rune, Lin Hao immediately opened the plug-in status bar to confirm that it was the Condor's rune. If not, it's Spartan. An emperor rose from the east. His rule began with blood and ended with bones. The great and sad emperor saw the true meaning of death in the darkness. Death sometimes does not mean the end of things. To understand the true meaning of death, you need the guidance of the soul of the prophet to step into that threshold. Evolution requirements. Level 20, already met. Evolution requirements. Rune of Condors, already owned. Soul of the prophet, already owned. Evolution conditions have all been met. Will the host evolve? Advance now? No, let's talk about it when we get home. The devil knows what will happen when the power of death reaches the advanced level. What if something strange or terrifying appears, such as the vision of a large number of skeletons paying tribute, or the worship of countless undead, and people mistakenly think it is the arrival of the old rulers? It would be bad if he was beaten to death on the spot. I won't advance to the next level for now. We'll talk about it later. Lin Hao thought silently in his mind and closed the status bar. Put the Condor's rune into the storage halo and prepared to close the account and leave. The AI system in the trading floor spoke at this time. The seller requested that if the buyer knows how to use the runes and what their effects are, please let me know. Lin Hao said, I understand, I will leave him a message. The AI robot received it and left. Lin Hao didn't even think about it and left a message directly. The newly bought beach villa lacks some decorations. After a while, a reply came. Are you sick? Spending 1 billion to buy this just to decorate the villa? Lin Hao replied, yes, people are stupid and have a lot of money. After typing this sentence, Lin Hao logged out of his account and left directly. When he was going out, Lin Hao saw a petite and cute girl. No, it should be said to be a girl with a lowly face but a little short body, and light blue hair, who was clamoring to find some goddess to settle accounts with. I didn't hear what she was shouting clearly, but several intelligent robots were blocking her. They looked very angry, and their faces were red with anger. They were like little apples, very cute. It's rare to see someone so cute when they're angry. Lin Hao didn't stop and left straight away. No matter how cute she was, she lost her temper in public. This kind of woman would definitely be unlucky for anyone who became her boyfriend in the future. After leaving the trading hall, I took out the hover motorcycle. This latest superpower version of the hover motorcycle was very eye-catching. Several girls nearby came to chat with me in sexy and fashionable clothes. Lin Hao was not in the mood to chat with them. Now he wanted to find a place and advance to the next level. Buzz! The roar of the suspended motorcycle engine sounded on the road, turning heads very quickly. Lin Hao drove directly to the newly bought villa near the university town. Although my sister just checked in today, our family has already remitted the full payment, and the seller has fully entrusted the intermediary to handle the procedures. Therefore, the smart lock on the door has already been changed by the intermediary to the identities of my 2 siblings before I can log in. For more than half an hour, Lin Hao followed the navigation and found the newly purchased villa. The suspended motorcycle body was 3,590 millimeters long. It was lying outside the gate, but it couldn't be completely blocked. Moreover, the door is 3 meters high, and there is a plaque on it, which is also covered with red cloth. I heard that it was a private gift from the agency, with the words, Lin Mansion, written on it. An optical computer is used to verify the ID at the door, and the door slowly opens. It really feels like a wealthy family. This has been my sister's wish for many years. My sister often said that my mother had a last wish to carry forward the old Lin family. She didn't even know when her mother told her. After their mother died, it was Aunt Fu Yayu who brought her mother's sword and half of her father's remaining shoulder armor. The siblings did not see their parents for the last time. The last scene is before my parents go off to war. He doesn't want to think about this anymore. Lin Hao has already promised his sister that he will never ask until he is not strong enough. The villa is now in auspicious status, and all decorations have been removed. This is the request of the elder sister. She needs to find someone else to design it and redecorate it according to her favorite style. Go to the first floor of the villa and turn on the lights. It is quite large and very private. It is very suitable for summoning servants or relatives here. He took out the Condor's rune and said, plug in, open the status bar. After the status bar is opened, there is also a dialog box asking whether to evolve. Lin Hao did not hesitate and clicked, yes, directly. The rune of Candoras emitted a bright light, which was like the blue-white light flashing in the eyes of undead units, giving people a strange feeling. The plugin pops up a dialog box with a will-o'-the-wisp-like group on it, which is the soul of the prophet that was pulled out by the plugin before. Two black tentacles appeared, one held the soul of the prophet, and the other rolled up the broken skin. Then with a shake, the broken skin fell off, and the Kandor's rune was pulled out by the tentacles. The tentacles slowly placed the extracted Kandor's runes on the prophet's soul. The runes seemed to be alive. As soon as they touched the prophet's soul, they immediately fell to the ground and took root. When the two merged, the light seemed to be affected by supernatural forces. The voltage fluctuated and the lights in the entire basement flickered darker and darker. There was a feeling that darkness was about to fall and death was imminent. Lin Hao thought to himself, coming, the vision is coming. He doesn't know what the vision will look like. Sea of skeletons? Undead army? Or the undead flying in the sky? Soon, the runes and the soul of the prophet were completely integrated together, as if growing naturally on the soul. It looked like a strange beauty. Finally, the tentacles held the prophet's soul fused with the Kandor's rune and raised it to Lin Hao's forehead. Then the prophet's soul began to get smaller and smaller, and finally attached to Lin Hao's forehead. Like water dripping into the sea, blended into Lin Hao's forehead and disappeared. Click. Lin Hao seemed to hear a very subtle sound, which seemed to come from his body, but he was not sure whether he really heard it. Have any shackles in the body been unlocked? But why don't I feel anything? At this time, the plugin automatically closed the status bar and a new dialog box popped up. Evolution has been completed, the host can continue to upgrade. The status bar has been refreshed, please check the host. That's it, it cost me 2,000 points and 1 billion. The previous fusion looked so high-end, but it just disappeared with a click. What about the vision? Where's the skeleton? What about the undead? Nothing at all. Lin Hao felt like he had been cheated. Wait, the status bar has been refreshed, or the attributes have skyrocketed. Hurry up and open the status bar for me. The plugin pops up the status bar, and a black light shines. Lin Hao shouted in his heart, it's coming, it's coming.